East Coast resurgence was imminent.
But it's like this though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
Yo, what's up, fellas? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing this evening?
What up?
What's going on? Peace, gentlemen.
Peace. Yo, Coop, this is your show tonight. This the Coop show, man. This the Coop show. That's I'm gonna kick it off with that. It's the Coop show tonight.
Nah, very few albums make me happy to talk about them.
No doubt.
Like where like it feels like a piece of me, and this is the album of albums for me. Like this is the album that made me believe that I could rap. And there's literally, like the quote DMX on Get At Me Dog, there's at least 1,000 niggas like me mobbing the streets, like in Atlanta, that feel this way about this album. This is the game changer for the South.
No doubt.
Like for Atlanta in particular, but this is the game changing album for the South. And so I'm excited to share like some of my thoughts and some of my feelings, some of my opinions, and some of my reflections about the most important rap album that ever came out of this region, quite frankly.
Yo, that's crazy because last week we just did Illmatic 30th, and we are blessed with the opportunity to do Southernplayalistic doses all the day, man. So we good, baby.
Yeah, I mean, as far as back-to-back weeks in hip hop history, there's not a better back-to-back week album turn than these two albums.
It's not a better one.
Right.
So let's get to it, fellas. Want to give a shout out first and foremost to those who are watching out there in YouTube, those who are on Facebook as well, our Discord team. Shout out to Apple, shout out to Spotify, shout out to Amazon, shout out to iHeart. We're being streamed all the way over there. So please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and download our content on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Prime Music, as well as iHeart. And shout out to our new partners out there in California, from San Diego all the way up to Vallejo. Shout out to all of you out there. And also shout out to Mile High Radio in Denver. They're listening to us right now while they're in traffic, trying to get through the day. So we hope we can entertain you all until you get to your home safe. So with that being said, let's get to work, fellas. Let's get to work. We're going to kick things off with a Coop Corner, baby.
So I think we've all heard the Chris Brown diss track, correct?
Yes, we have.
Now, I don't know how else to say this, but for years I've been doing this now, and I keep talking about how happy and friendly these rappers are with each other, and how overall the reason that I don't like it is because it's really not good for the climate. Well, Chris Brown's diss record is exactly what I'm talking about. You see, Chris Brown, he really genuinely don't like Quavo.
Yeah.
And Quavo don't like him. They don't like each other. And it's okay. We're all not supposed to fucking hold hands and sing Kumbaya and get along. And you want to know what happened because Chris Brown don't like Quavo? He just dropped the best diss record we've heard this year.
It really is.
Because when the animus is real, when you just really don't really care for a motherfucker, it brings out a different side of you as a man.
Yes.
First of all, to all the ladies out there, never date an R&B singer with the last name Brown. That's James Brown, Bobby Brown, Chris Brown. Crazy niggas. Never date a nigga named Brown that sings. You're in a lot of trouble if you do. But if you want a singing ass nigga that'll diss somebody in a minute, guess what? James Brown, Bobby Brown, Chris Brown.
Yeah.
And so when I'm talking about like all these dudes holding hands and singing Kumbaya, the problem and the reason why this thing hasn't really kicked off in the rap world between these guys the way that we like is the only one that feels some type of way is Drake. And listen to me, Drake only feels some type of way because he knows everybody else hates him.
Right.
The rest of these niggas is too happy. They've been singing Kumbaya and holding hands too long and playing nice with each other. And when you play nice with somebody too long, you don't know how to separate and draw the line. So I'm going to, I'm a big sports fan. I'm going to use a quick basketball reference. Do y'all remember the NBA anniversary 7015?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Now, if you watched Michael Jordan when he showed up, first of all, Mike didn't acknowledge about 90% of the niggas that was there. It's like he only acknowledged the super special niggas. He's like, "What up, LeBron? What up, Luka? D Wade,
Right.
KD? Rest of you niggas get out the way." But then he seen Magic. He didn't tell that nigga hello. He looked at him and was like, "You got some shoes?"
Right. Right.
You and me. You and me. Right now. You see Magic kind of laughed at him, but then he kind of looked at him like, "Oh, this nigga's serious. Hold on. Do I got shoes in the car?" Like, you see Magic kind of pause for a second, like, "Do I got shoes in the car? Because I ball with this nigga right now." And they're friends. They're close, but not close enough that when it's time to dance, it's like, "Oh no, I want you. I want you right now." So first thing he did when he see Magic, "You got some shoes, nigga?"
Right. Yeah. And everybody else was uncomfortably laughing because they didn't know if it was getting ready to pop off right then and there.
Right, because both of them know both of them, and they like, "Oh shit, these old niggas might go grab some shoes." If that would have been delayed another 15 minutes, they both would have went and got shoes and played in front of everybody one-on-one.
Word.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Fact.
And the game is missing that. Like, that's what the hip hop game is missing. It's that fervor where it's like, even if I like you, even if I respect you, like, it's the respect that comes with it. It's like he only did that to Magic because he doesn't think anybody else can play with him but Magic.
Facts.
It's like, no. That's the guy that's going to give me a problem, because here's how Mike is. And a lot of people don't realize this. The first finals Michael Jordan went to, he played Magic Johnson. And he tried to guard Magic Johnson in game one, and Magic busted his ass, and the Lakers took game one at home from the Bulls. And then Phil Jackson said, "Scotty, you take Magic, or this about to be a long series."
Yeah.
And Mike remembers stuff like that because Mike is petty. And so, yes, I've taken care of Michael Jordan a few times. He's petty and he remembers everything. Like, I was his fucking bartender. He remembered my name, and he spent a week apart from coming into my establishment. And he was like, "Yo, Coop, you remember what I drink?" I was like, "Oh, this nigga petty."
Right. He doesn't forget anything.
So,
but
he does. But these are the things that good competitive fire, fervor, and rap battles are made of. And quite frankly, I never thought I would say this. I need these rappers to act like Chris Brown, because this week it wasn't just Quavo that got bodied by a singer nigga. It was the whole game that got bodied by a singer nigga. Because he really exposed how happy and soft and delicate the game is. And I don't mean that shit in a good way.
To your point, Coop, it's a certain faction of people that's saying that Chris might have took the diss a little bit too far with some of the things he said. I'm not going to repeat those sentiments, but you know what he said in the song. So do you think that this one goes a little bit deeper than the spirit of competition? Do you think this one would have the potential to get ugly?
It has the potential to get ugly, but I keep trying to tell everybody there's no rules in battle either. So there is no such thing as a cheap shot. Now, you can say something that's wrong. You can say something that's inappropriate. You can say something that's downright crude and disrespectful. And guess what? He did all of those things, and he don't give no fuck about it. And that's part of it too. That's what happens when you step into the ring. Yeah. Like, this is not boxing. You can't lose a point for doing it. It ain't like, take a point away. It's like, oh damn, it's like he shouldn't have said that, but oh well.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes hip hop different. That's what makes the competitive sport about hip hop different than all the other competitive sports. Is like, well, it really is free man's, and you really don't lose a point when you do something inappropriate like that.
I don't think you necessarily lose a point, but if you combine, those low blows with style points, like how you deliver them makes the difference. People are more subject to forgive them low blows like that if they got some style behind it. If you hit them with a slick line, double entendre, versus it just be some straight up disrespectful stuff, then they might look at it a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? It's how the delivery was.
And I respect that, because it's like, Amanda Seales was just on Shannon Sharp's podcast.
Yep, to that exact point.
And she spoke to, like, where Jay really lost is that, well, Jay wasn't Jay on Super Ugly. He was just like going straight for the jugular, but because instead of being his usual witty double entendre, different perspective analysis type of rapper that he is, but that's because his ass was on the ropes, though. That's what happens when you're on the ropes too. When you're on the ropes, you behave out of character. Just like, did y'all see the Haney Garcia fight?
Man,
Yeah.
did I? Yeah.
So that's not the Haney that we usually see. But guess
Right.
what? He was on the ropes.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you're on the ropes, you behave different.
Right.
And
It was a knee-jerk reaction by Jay because normally he's too cool for school, and that was a knee-jerk reaction. So,
but he, quote unquote, got ethered. It's an adjective now, and he was to quote him from All I Need. He was left leaning a little past 6.
it's just a verb. It's an action word.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
He got too
I
cute.
mean, but yeah, he got too cute. But Chris Brown just dropped the best diss record this year, while niggas is doing like fucking IG battles like they're fucking 22-year-old OnlyFans models. So,
and he was rapping on there. Look, let's keep it a buck.
Rapping. He was spitting.
Yeah.
He was spitting. No, he was rapping.
Yo, Chris Brown is a talented brother. Always been.
He is.
You can't take that away from him. And he has that fire. He has that bite to him. So this is in him. He can do this. He can actually do this. And it's personal. So it comes off a little bit different. It's a little bit more bite to it because it's personal. Mm-hmm. It's not fabricated. It's not manufactured. And I'm thinking we're starting to see the difference between what's manufactured versus what's real. Because all of this, we're going to join forces to take Drake out. I think all this stuff is manufactured. It's not sticking to your ribs. What Chris Brown did with Quavo, it kind of sticks a little bit because there is some intertwining there. There's some, like you said, Coop in the beginning, he doesn't like Quavo. They don't like each other. So it has a different bite to it. Yeah, it has a different bite to it. It gives more oomph to it. You know
right.
What I mean? Yeah.
And here's what I mean about how the audience feels the difference. I always gauge how real it is when I step into my daughter's world. My daughter's the one that put me onto the Chris Brown diss. Like, I'm taking her to school. She was like, Breezy just dissed Quavo. I was like, she grabbing her phone like, yeah, nigga, I'm putting you on game. Click.
Right.
And she like, and this is what I mean about these soft ass rappers. When a 17-year-old girl is asking her father, what's up with these rappers though, daddy? Don't you do a hip hop podcast? You know any of these niggas? She was like, it's not a good look to be showing off your mansion when you're supposed to be battling, daddy.
Facts.
I'm like, like, it's what the kids is saying. So you don't got to hear from like grown men in your age bracket. The high schoolers and the middle schoolers and the college kids is looking at you like what's this soft ass shit you doing, fam? Breezy out here going hard.
Right. Because they know what it feels like. They know the difference between what's really happening and what's not happening. And there's a lot of not happening right now. Whether we want to admit it or not, there's a lot of not happening.
Yeah, right I mean, like I said, Drake the only one out here getting it popping, AI or no AI. Because here's the reality of the matter. His verse was pretty much an invitation, like saying, hey, nigga, can your punk ass come out to play?
Right.
Are you allowed out the house after the street lights are on so we can dance?
Let's segue into that.
Let's.
Go ahead.
What y'all think about that joint?
If I'm being honest, I'm cool with it. I'm be honest with you. I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it because I see what he did. I see what he did there. I know AG's tight about it. He was tight about it from the beginning, but I understand the plan. I understand what he did. Now again, is it corny? Yeah. Drake is corny, right? He leans into that very heavy. He leans into being corny, and that's what make him again one of those guys you love to hate. But I think that it's one of those things where if you strip away the corny shit from it, right, and you look at it as bare bones, he actually got off on that because he was rapping as Tupac. He was rapping as Snoop. You know what I mean? Use the AI thing to kind of do a little play on some stuff that's going on right now. Honestly, in this environment, and I know the hip hop heads, we are purists ourselves. In the hip hop scheme of things, we look at it like, man, this is crazy. This is debauchery, right? But it's really a situation where he's leaning into what's happening right now. That's all I can say on it.
I got a difference of opinion because I called you. I called you the morning it came out.
Yeah, you was upset.
Yeah, to quote Drake. Yeah, I was upset, but the overall premise of it, right? I can get with that, because I'm a sucker for conceptual records. and speaking from someone else's perspective or what have you. I can get with that. It was real cleverly done. If he was going to lean into the AI thing, my small critique would be he could have tried to have adopted Pac's or Snoop's actual flows instead of flowing like himself with the, AI voice, but that's neither here nor there. But the bars he was saying, knowing from a place where Kendrick holds Pac and Snoop so high, him basically talking from their perspective to try to give Kendrick a pep talk. Like, yo, you're supposed to be the guy that's representing the West. Like, you need to come outside and play, that sort of thing. All that, I love it. It's never been done before in rap competition. It was innovative, but there's a bigger picture at play. And that's my problem.
Absolutely.
When the biggest rap artist there is out there co-signs the use of AI, it is now a game changer. And AI, I went on a whole rant, 1 or 2 shows ago about the use of AI. And now the ante has just been upped by Drake using it. So we're in dangerous territory right now where this could go as far as the music industry, musical integrity, and all that. And then, one of my homies, he was like, oh man, he said, you always trying to, look at that Al Sharpton point of view of things, like just enjoy the music. I'm like, it is what it is. It's a bigger picture at play that, some people are choosing to acknowledge. It's deeper than the music. And could it be industry driven to, damage hip hop? Because I think this AI thing could really, really kill it at the end of the day, because no other genres are dealing with it like our artists are dealing with it.
Right.
So that's the kind of thing that looks funny to me and why it's taking place. I was on the phone with Sean, like just going off about the AI thing. I told him, I was like, yo, we did a whole show last week and we was talking about hip hop before Illmatic and after Illmatic. And Illmatic is known as the hip hop Bible. And I told Sean, I said, well, if that's the case, before Illmatic was the Old Testament, after Illmatic was the New Testament, and right now we hear Revelations with this AI stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's spooky hours. It is scary out here. So that's the thing that's kind of, bothered me with the whole thing. But, at the end of the day, it was a dope record if we just compartmentalizing how creative it was. And but I just saw that it had to be taken down off social media because of the cease and desist. He had an ultimatum. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. But what do you got, Coop?
So I try to look at it objectively. First of all, I liken the reference of using the Tupac and the Snoop AI. Like, for me, what Drake is doing, Drake is like really doing his best impersonation of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali would jab you for the first 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds of a fight before he would start swinging on you, unless he knew that the jab was hurting you. Like, if he knew that the jab was hurting you early, he would go ahead and go take you out.
Right.
But them first 2, 3 rounds with Ali, Ali's just feeling out and using the jab, using the jab, using the jab, And I looked at it from the perspective of like, it has a takeover-like perspective to it. It's nowhere near the level of takeover, but it has a takeover-like perspective in the sense that he's kind of using Kendrick and talking to Kendrick like an opponent. And he's got Snoop and Kendrick. I mean, he's got Snoop and Pac in Kendrick's corner in this fight, pep talking him like your training team would during a boxing match when the round is over. Right. So it's like Kendrick is sitting on the stool and Pac's over here in his ear on one side. You got to use the jab. When he does this, you got to move this like a trainer would. And Snoop is over there greasing over his forehead and, making sure that his eye doesn't swell from the jab he just took. And that's the perspective that I took away from it. So I like the perspective. And I like the fact that he's pretty much like, he's poking fun at his skills, like the same way he pokes fun at himself for being a singing nigga. He's like, oh, you gonna need I know you sitting in that New York apartment somewhere. You gonna need a quintuple entendre or something, nigga. Like he's having fun with it and being petty and being shady, but he's also thinking on a level of like, well, this is a boxing match. I'm gonna put your homies in your corner pep talk you because you still about to catch this fade. Because when you're the best and you feel like you're the best, that's how you really talk your shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The party, my favorite part was where he said, "You hoping this will die down?" He said, "Nah, you gotta, you gotta follow through now. Like, you done came out. Go ahead and stay out here to play." So that's my favorite part. Keep on egging them on. But hearing the version with just Drake by himself, I mess with that. You know what I mean? Because if you take the AI away from it, because I get that he used the AI, is like, having a new toy and having fun with it or whatever. But at what cost? You know what I mean? Because he may not look at it from that perspective that it could be a detriment to hip hop because, he's the biggest rap star. If it hurts somebody else in the game, an up and coming artist, that's trying to get on, then, it's at what cost of musical integrity? It's like, when Thanos was getting whooped by Scarlet Witch in Endgame, it was like, rain fire on the whole field. He was like, just do it. You know what I'm saying? He was going to take out his own people just because, for the sake of winning. So I know that he's focused on Kendrick and trying to take Kendrick out, but it's at what cost though? That's what
he doesn't care. It won't affect him. He's right. Believe it or not, if we want to agree or not, he's the top of the food chain. This is his ecosystem right now. So he can do whatever he wants to do with his ecosystem. We can say what we want to say. Yes, Drake is corny. Yes, we're getting tired of Drake, I guess. But he's the top of the food chain. If he wasn't, you wouldn't have a collection of not just some weak rap. These are the who's who. These are not like B-list or C-list rappers. These are like the who's who that are going after him to get collectively. They're joining forces like the Avengers to go after Thanos because he's the major threat. He's the one. Kanye
That's corny on the other side as well.
Exactly.
Both sides.
What Kanye said. Kanye got some problems, but he spit a lot of facts and truth when he's ranting. He's saying everything that they said behind in whisper. He's saying things out loud that they're whispering behind.
He's putting it on Front Street. Yeah.
So Sean, let me piggyback off of that right quick.
Yep.
Oh, see, Drake knows that behind the curtain, these niggas been talking shit about him for years.
Right.
And so when people are like, well, he's being too petty, he's being too emotional, it's like, no, he's not. He's actually been holding his card and playing it cool for a long time. Absolutely. And he's just now to the point where he's like, you want to know what? Y'all want to pop off in private or y'all want to pop off in public? Run it. Exactly. And listen to what I'm about to say. Sometimes your greatest victories come from your losses. And as strange as it may seem, he's actually taking a page out of Pusha T's book right now. And he's like, no, I'm going to play bully and keep coming for you until you say the shit out loud in front of everybody else so we can dance. Because Pusha T poked at Wayne and Drake for years. Like, I can go to the Re-Up Gang album and he's talking shit about Wayne, talking about little nigga flows, but his metaphor's boring. Yep. Don't make me have to turn baby to abortion. Right. Like, he kept poking at them until one of them came outside to play.
Yeah.
Right.
And Drake finally came outside to play because Wayne never came outside to play like that with Push.
He sure did.
Right. He didn't.
Sure did.
But Drake came out to play, but Push was letting it be known, like, nah, how about I'm not letting up on you niggas, and I don't care how big you are, or who likes you, or what your following says. I know what you're saying behind closed doors, so fuck you too.
Yes.
And let's go. That's what I mean when I say he's got old school rapper sensibilities that way. Because he really you want to know what? Forget the conversation. Forget about the girls. What about that shit you said, my nigga?
Absolutely.
Well, that puts Kendrick in a predicament, right? Because on Like That, he wanted to call out Cole and Drake for standing next to each other, y'all clicking up, right? Which he chose to diss him on the coalition that was going at Drake, Metro and Future. They were gathering everybody. Kanye didn't make no bones about it. He said, yo, they called me. And we was energized. We were excited to get rid of Drake, to eliminate Drake is what he said. So now that that's been put out on Front Street,
Right.
How does Kendrick approach that? Like, cause he got to come with his own record, his own material. If I'm him in my diss track, I got to tell everybody I want the full ISO, get out my way, because this guy, you know, he's my responsibility. I'm going at it. I don't want Ross to say nothing. I don't want Kanye to say nothing. That's what makes this beef so bizarre, because we got apologies, we got AI, and we hearing from people that we don't even want to really hear from right now. We didn't even ask for them.
Right. And I don't think he has that in him though, bro. Pause. I don't think Kendrick's gonna say, move out the way, let me get at him. I don't think that's gonna happen, because that's not in Kendrick's character. We call Kendrick the boogeyman, or y'all call Kendrick the boogeyman, not me. Y'all call Kendrick the boogeyman. You're saying he's this, and this. Like Coop said,
done anything to prove.
Where's the evidence?
Right.
Show me some quantifiable facts to prove that he is this mythical creature that eats up other rappers. I've never seen it. We've seen flashes, but we've seen flashes from anybody. The baby will give you flashes of that he got some bite to him.
But that's the set off, because Control was a set off. Like that was a set off. He sets it off and then goes back into, you know, hiding mode. And that's why Drake is like, nah, we following through this time.
Right, because that's okay. So here's the thing: people look at him like the boogeyman, but because what does the boogeyman really do? He appears, but then he does what?
Disappears.
He disappears.
There you go. There you go.
What Drake is really saying is that no, nigga, no disappearing this time.
Right.
You're not just gonna like say your little shit and then you take your little hiatus and you know wait till your album drop or all that. He like, no, I'm gonna keep on until you get on.
Exactly.
Right.
He's now the pressure is on Kendrick to do something about it.
Right.
Because I see people compare, well, they said Nas didn't answer to Jay until 3 months or whatever. We're not in that space anymore. We have to admit the fact that we are in a different social media space. Back then, we had to get the magazines. The magazines were at least a month behind. So a lot of information we were not processing at that time, we were probably 2 to 3 weeks behind. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it took time for an artist to go to the studio, put in work, master it, make sure it's tight, and then put it out. Now they can just go to their home studio. They can go on Instagram. They can do all these weird things that Ross is doing, shoot a video for no reason at all, and get the stuff out there in moments. So we're in a different way of consuming material out there. We're in a whole different realm of consuming music. It's not the same thing. The consumption is totally different than it was back then. So now, yes, Kendrick is on the clock. We can't take him off the clock. We put Drake on the clock. We gotta have him on the clock.
Yeah, no, I don't like that where people wanted to put Drake on the clock, but say Kendrick can take all the time he needs. I mean, we got to keep it balanced. You know,
yes,
people definitely ain't keeping it balanced, but
because your quote unquote core hip hop heads, they want Kendrick to win because they feel like Kendrick is better for the core of hip hop than Drake is. But you have to ask yourself, is he really better for the core of hip hop? Because what I keep trying to say is when it comes down to these matters, Drake has more core hip hop sensibilities about these things than Kendrick does. Kendrick is actually the one that's out here winning the Grammys. That's why he keeps on making the Taylor Swift and like Adam Levine and like all those jabs. Because like Drake knows it's like, no. You think that he's your hip hop god. Right. Like, but you're just thinking that. You're not seeing what I'm seeing behind the scenes. Right. Like, this is what I mean. Like, Drake is the one that pulls up to these rap battles. Like, in the fucking hood.
Yeah,
with his fucking cornrows and a do-rag. Drake's the one that if some beef pop off is always going to say something. Even over his predecessor and the guy who put him on, Wayne, he pop off more than Wayne do.
He does, and nobody can take that away from Drake. I don't care, how much you try. You know what I mean? And let's be honest. We all was here for what Cole was going to do or say because he had been rapping like that for the past, few years. But at least Drake is standing on business.
Facts.
10 toes.
Yep. So
you better respect it.
His new nickname, 10 Toes, until these other niggas do something.
So what would you guys say is the best between the two records that Drake put out? The Push-Ups or the Tailor Made freestyle?
Push-Ups.
I said push-ups. I said push-ups.
Me as well.
I said push-ups.
But what's a battle without a willing competitor? That's why I keep going back to Michael Jordan when he rolled up on Magic. Like, nigga, where are your shoes?
Right.
It is time to go.
Right.
It's like, because I don't get to see you too often. We're about 100 feet from a basketball court. Everybody's here watching.
Yeah.
You and me, 1 and 2. Leg up.
We're here now.
To your point, Coop, do you think that Kendrick thought that he could just say what he said on It's Like That and it wouldn't pop off like it did? You know what I mean? Because that had to be part of his thought process. I don't think he saw all this hoopla coming from that record.
A lot of people think that I don't like Kendrick, and that's just not true. I love Kendrick. Good Kid, Mad City, to me, is one of the 3 best albums of the last 15 years. I would put My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Good Kid, Mad City, and KD3 in the conversation, the best rap album of the last 15 years.
That's a tough 3.
So his ceiling is like that. Actually, when he's on his shit, he doesn't have a ceiling. Like when he raps the rap, or when he raps the way that he was rapping on Damn, on Feel, and on Element, it's like, oh no, that's one of the greatest rappers who ever lived. That's greatest rapper of the generation type stuff.
Yep. When
did Damn come out? Because this is what I keep trying to get people to understand, is that you might be holding on to something that does not exist anymore. Yeah. This man has not had a high level verse literally since my daughter was in middle school. She graduates next year from high school and is going to college. Some bullshit.
Yeah, that was 7 years ago.
That was 7 years ago.
Right.
She was playing JV ball for middle school then. This nigga's about to graduate. And I need him, quite frankly, and this is really what it seems like. You know, after Ralph Ellison wrote The Invisible Man, he really only wrote one more book, and then you really didn't hear from him again. And so The Invisible Man is as about as fine a piece of work as you will find, not just from a black author, but from an author.
Fact.
But how can we put him in the same category with a Toni Morrison, a Langston Hughes, a W.E.B. Du Bois, when they got works that are comparable to The Invisible Man, like in multiples?
Yes.
And so,
yes,
the public don't give a shit about your writer's block, is what I'm saying.
They don't.
At least not the real public. It's like, I don't care if you have writer's block. You better unblock that shit.
Exactly. And that means you got to be more calculated, because you're going to convince someone who's reading a book of Jay-Z. Everything that Drake is doing is something that Jay would have done in this environment, right? Before Nas dropped Ether, what did he say? He went to Eric B to ask, what should I do in this situation? Should I respond at this point? What would Raw think? He went to get some feedback as to what route to go. He didn't jump out the window. He didn't just sit on his hands. He went to get feedback from the ones that he trusted, that would give him honest feedback. And what did he say? Rob was like, yo, if you're going to do this, son, you got to do it. You got to go all the way through with it. You can't play around with it. Your legacy is on the line. You got to go through with it. And what he did, say no more. Then we got Ether. Kendrick ain't thought this thing out. He threw it out there. Like you said, AG, he probably thought that Drake was just going to shrug it off or make a subliminal here or there, and leave it at that. I don't think he was prepared, because who is he getting counsel from? I don't think he's getting counsel from anyone.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you something. The worst thing, and I learned this from when I was recording, the worst thing that a rapper can actually do is insulate themselves and isolate themselves.
Bingo.
I'll never forget. I was recording out of my man's house. My man Keith used to be Black Rob's driver. His older brother Wop used to throw parties for Diddy. Parties in clubs. Pause. Like the real bad boy parties that used to take place down here. Wop walked into the crib one day when I was recording and saw me recording by myself. And he was like, Coop, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm recording. He was like, with who? He's like, we got to get some niggas in here. He's like, you don't do this shit alone. He's like, this is hip hop. He was like, yo, he's like, you either stop recording or I'm about to start calling some people. He was like, don't do that shit. He was like, you need the energy and the vibe of the streets, of the people around you. He's like, that's where it come from, Coop. He was like, don't be in here recording by yourself. They from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? They from Boogie now, by way of St. Croix. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, yo, he's like, don't ever do this again. He was like, you at least need about 3 or 4 or 5 of your hitters up in here, your core team with you. And I feel like what's really happened to Kendrick is because of the fame, the notoriety, and the money. Oh yeah, privileged rapper applies because now he's insulated and isolated, and there is no Eric B and Rakim to go to be like, yo, God, what should the God do about the situation? You need those people around you. Like, how about this, Sean? To quote what you said, you know why he went to Eric B and asked Eric B and reached out to Raw? They still plug to the pulse of the streets.
Bingo.
Absolutely.
Bingo.
Still plug to the pulse of the streets. Like, what the street saying I should do, OG.
Right.
Got to handle your business, young man. You have to handle your business, young man.
You go to Eric B for that. You don't go to no one else for that at that time. You go to Eric B.
Correct.
Street knowledge.
Correct.
But let's speak to the isolation a little bit, because Drake alluded to, he knew Kendrick was up in his New York apartment that he just moved to. And
it's inside information. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he doubled down. He doubled down and Snoop. He said, you know how to move, right? Right? Like, what is the information that Drake is privy to that, did Kendrick get pressed and have to move? You know what I'm saying? To New York? Or you know what I'm saying? It's something that Drake has information-wise that he's teasing, that if Kendrick responds, that he's going to, that's going to be the uppercut, right? And let's be honest, even if Kendrick is on the clock, he's in a tight spot, because the longer he takes, the more fake AI records can come out, and they could say something that he could potentially, want to say himself. Now he can't go that angle because the sting ain't there, because it's already been said on an AI record. And he has to flip it more clever than they did on their record. And, Drake keeps on doing the B-Rabbit 8 Mile approach, taking away all the sting from, anything he could say by saying it about himself. Yo, talk about how, he's into underage girls or whatever. He's saying all this stuff, and the longer Kendrick takes, his ammo is dwindling.
So,
and here's how personal it's getting. And this is what I mean. And this is the piggyback off of your, Drake got some information.
Yeah.
Yo, he brought up Kendrick's manager on this.
Yeah.
Who is also Nas's manager.
Correct.
Right. It's a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. This is chess. This is not checkers.
Yes.
So
when you got so much money, you can get in certain rooms. So if Drake know more about, Kendrick's dealings than Kendrick know himself, that's nasty work.
Exactly. But AG, I told you that when you and I was talking, I was like, yo, he knows more, because he knows more. He has more resources. He has more access.
We'll see. Here's the thing about him holding the spot that he holds. You're really not in a position, if he walks into your room or your studio, to be like, no, you can't come in here, fam.
Facts.
No, that's not how this game works. So he get to really pop up and pull up wherever, because it's Drake. He get to pop up at the underground battles. He get to pop up when the largest niggas is making albums. He get to pop up when the legends is making albums, because that's the place in the space that he holds that the fans are missing. And so his access to resources and intel is more vast than the rest of these guys.
Different. It's different. Cool. Think about 2001 Jay. How much access did he have? When Jay said, I got more shooters in Queensbridge than you, he's not talking about shooters in plural. He's talking about one person. And, for the sake of the show, I'm not going to say the person's name, but he was getting intel from someone that was really close to Son at that time, because he had an issue with Son at that time.
Well, here's the thing about it. I kind of know who you're talking about, I think, because Cormega mentioned in an interview around the time that he had Jay number and that he had talked to Jay. And I was like, oh, that's real nasty work going on right now.
You know, that's public information. So that's not, you know what I mean? Because that's how the whole lyrical exercise.
It's public information now, AG. It's public information now.
Well, I knew politics. I knew beforehand that's how lyrical exercise came about, because that was Mega's beat first.
I can't say that. It's Queensbridge politics, so I'm getting that.
Well, I ain't in Queens, so you know what I'm saying?
I ain't trying to touch no Queensbridge politics.
Yeah, love is love now. Love is love now. So
absolutely.
We may have core coming up soon, so love is love.
Absolutely.
But Jay was saying those things to say, yo, I got shooters out there too, because he's getting intel. At this time, Jay had resources, he had money, he had access, he had power. So he had everything in his hand to be able to get whatever information he needed. Now magnify that times 10 with Drake, because Drake's resources are bigger than what Jay resources. Jay resources were more street resources, right? Yeah. Those he can, reach out and touch in that capacity. Drake resources, you're talking about the big wigs. You're talking about the executive of the executive. You're talking about the senior executives.
And media, radio, magazine.
Radio. A lot of pillow talking going on, right? Because he's feeding them as well. Pause. He's putting money in their pockets, because why? He's a juggernaut. He's the biggest thing. Pause.
He's the earner.
He's the one.
He's the biggest earner on the block.
He's the biggest earner on the block. You take him out, you're gonna have a vacuum of resources depleted. So what do you think they're gonna do? Hey man, Kendrick got this going on. How you think Drake found out that Kendrick got writer's block? You think he got that just from some random Joe Schmo? Nah, he got somebody who Kendrick said, yo, I'm struggling right now to write a rhyme. I'm having a block right now.
That's why he's getting at him. He knows what's going on with him personally.
Yes.
He knows.
Yes.
And here's what I mean about how the battle doesn't have rules. It really don't matter how he know, just matter that he knows.
That he knows, right?
He's using it to his advantage. And so let's juxtapose this like this. As revered as Kendrick is in the hip hop community, he's still not revered the way Nas was around the time that's going on.
Not at all.
And even for as revered as Nas was, even with Illmatic and it was written under his belt, and even with all the platinum plaques under his belt, it took an ether level record to restore the balance.
Big facts.
I think, I don't really want to say it's a difference of opinion, Coop, because I agree with that, but I think it's just a sign of the times we're in the era, because back then you had to put out there what side of the fence you was on. When a line was drawn in the sand, you had to say, okay, I'm riding with this person, I'm riding with that person, and that was that. And you was a fan, and we was ready to be in fist fights with cats we was cool with over, the battle at the time. But I think now it's just more so people are here for the show of it, the music, and they'll be quick to jump ship. Like, you know what I'm saying? If Kendrick put out a hot diss track, the ones that was, riding for Drake will jump on that side. I think that's more a timing thing, how it is in 2024.
Absolutely. AG, I agree with you to a degree, but there have still been lines drawn.
Oh, absolutely.
Like for me, it's like when all this happened, it's like, I'm taking Cole. Then he apologized. I was like, I don't want to talk about him no more. Give me Drake.
Right. He's eliminated.
You know what's wild? My son Kendrick is his favorite rapper, right? Which is funny because Damn came out when he was in middle school as well. So that's when he was introduced to Kendrick. But Drake is his second favorite rapper. Yeah. But he's team Drake all the way, because he's like, yo, everybody in the industry trying to get rid of Mans, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna root for this guy because he's the underdog. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, he can see the ways of the industry where, he could be objective and say, okay, everybody gassing what Kendrick is doing, but downplaying what Drake is doing. So I'm going to ride with that guy over there because I want to see him win. You know what I mean? So that's why I said on the other show, like, we've never seen a position like this before where the top dog also be the underdog.
But
Huh.
can I, let me
You
ask
said
you,
top dog.
No pun intended.
I'm gonna ask both of you guys this question because that brings up a point for me, AG. If you think about, and again, I hate to keep throwing the parallels between Nas and Jay. I think the magnitude is just on that same level, close to
Right.
that level.
That's the bar. That's
It's
the
the
bar.
bar, right?
Yeah, that's our template. That's our modern day
Right.
template
That's what
for what a
we can
rap
go
battle
through.
is supposed to look like.
Right.
Absolutely. I want to ask you both this because you think about it, when Jay attacked Nas and Prodigy, both of those guys were vulnerable, right? You think about the time when, when he attacked Prodigy had just came off of HNIC, and HNIC was projected to do it just as good as Murder Music because Prodigy was at a high clip at that time. Prodigy was cooking at that time, and HNIC did not reach the goals that they thought it was going to make. He ended up only going gold. Jay saw that and was like, "Oh, you only went gold? You ain't on my level. I'm going at you now. This is the right time to strike." Nas was also on not so much as a downside, but he was maxing. He said himself, in the middle of that, Jay tried to sneak attack. Nas had personal things going on. We just came off of QB's finest. We just came off of Nostradamus. So there was some mumblings around that, right? Jay saw that like, okay, son he's not 96, 97 Nas right now. He's not Hate Me Now Nas right now. So it's time to strike. Do you think that this is very similar to where Drake is at this point? Like if Drake was at his high clip, he just came off of now some good records over the past couple of years. Now they were kind of basic. He's not coming off of Scorpion. He's coming off of other things, collaborations and things that wasn't that great. Do you think this is the right time, the opportune time for them to attack him?
AG, you want to take it or you want me to go?
Just real quick, and then I'll let you speak on the coop. I think where Drake was on tour, that made him a little bit vulnerable to the attack, but he got time now. I remember listening to Joe, and half the time I disagree with Joe, half the time I do agree with him. But I will give him credit for saying, that's prime time to attack a rapper because they don't have time to, really lock in the studio. They got to focus on their show, their set, and make sure everything great. But he's off tour now and he got time, So I think that, he's ready for whatever going forward. And he's, like to Coop's point, he's probably the pettiest rapper ever outside of Jay. And, I think he's going to keep on going down this path till it's a resolution, and what I mean by resolution, where it's a clear-cut victor.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean about Drake having old school rapper sensibilities. Well, what Jay seen even past the record sales with Prodigy and past, the personal stuff that was going on with Nas's familial situation on two levels was the fact that, quite frankly, and everybody that follows me and has followed me for years know how I feel about Prodigy. HNIC is a big drop off from infamous Hell on Earth and Murder Music level of making music. Absolutely. Nostradamus and QB's finest has its moments, but outside of Find Your Wealth and Self-Conscious.
Yep.
And so what Jay really did, because Jay is ahead, he's like, well, their quality of music making has dropped off. And I'm at my zenith still.
Absolutely.
That's where the attack, like all that other stuff are ancillary pieces to the fact is like, yo, what that shit sound like? Because Murder Music got like 10 classic records on there.
Yeah. It's
HNIC has like, HNIC has, I love P, but it had like 2 classic records on there. And here's where the real vulnerability for Prodigy came. Oh, Havoc didn't executive produce HNIC. And Jay saw it's like, oh, when you don't have your mans on the boards, your shit's different. Coming for your ass.
Well,
coming for your ass.
Let's speak to this too, because I don't think this is something that people really talk about. With this whole united front against Drake, you got Metro, Future, and Kanye saying, "Yo, Dot, I got you." You know what I mean? Kendrick don't want his help, but anyway, it's a united front of everybody coming at Drake. be clear that Jay-Z knew before he released Takeover, Going at Prodigy and Nas, he knew that they weren't on the best of terms. You know what I mean? Because you didn't want the United QB front coming at you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a divide and conquer kind of thing. Because let's be real, it didn't do Prodigy any favors that Jay-Z went at him at Takeover and then Nas went at him on Destroy and Rebuild. That battle looks a little bit different if P and Nas are united.
I disagree with that.
Okay, go ahead.
Tell me more.
Because Jay didn't know that Nas and P was at it. Jay forgot. Jay threw the line out there to P because he knew Nas around the corner. You don't throw P out there without knowing that Nas is somewhere close by. That's why he didn't drop that third verse until Nas said something.
After. Correct.
When Nas acknowledged that verse, that's when that third verse came in. He didn't know that Nas and P was at odds because keep in mind, Nas and P just collaborated. It was only a couple of months apart.
That's true. On Nostradamus, yeah, you're right.
On Nostradamus and on QB's Finest.
So
QB's Finest was when Nas and P started having a little bit of friction, but
because P was one to do the compilation first. Before,
Right.
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, and Sean, you can probably speak to this more than I can. Some of the pushback about P doing the compilation is that some niggas is like, but you really from Hempstead. And so a nigga from QB need to do the QB album.
Right.
But it always goes back to the music. Now, go listen to Family on Nostradamus.
Yep.
Now go back and listen to Give It Up Fast in Live Nigga Rap. Oh, the chemistry's not the same.
It's different.
The chemistry's not the same. Jay is ahead. Jay hears the chemistry not the same. And so he like, I don't know if there's something, but musically there's definitely something going on. Let me go ahead and dig a little bit and see if there's a little bit more. And Jay's a smart dude because Jay's still a street dude at the end of the day. And he was right. There was more. He just didn't know, but like a real hustler gonna do, he like, no. Let me roll around the block right quick, see what these niggas doing. Let me see if they still getting money together, or if they just acting like they getting money together.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Great points, fellas. Great points. What y'all want to move a little bit? Want to get back to I mean, we can
do this all day, so we can slide.
We're potting, but let's, you know what I'm saying, get into what, we came here for, you know what I'm saying, get Coop the ISO real quick.
ISO.
So, let's go, gentlemen.
Yeah. Talk to us.
Southernplayalisticadillacmuzik by OutKast. And it's funny, I'm actually not going to slide too far. When I was doing my dig about Illmatic to try to get some new information, some of the new information that I uncovered is that, well, the staff at the source had to beg the music editor at the time to give Illmatic the 5. I forget the gentleman's name. I have it written down somewhere in my notes. I'd have to peel through it. I don't have time to peel through all my notes because I take a lot of notes. But part of why the Chronic only got 4.5 is because the music editor that took over the year the Chronic came out said we're not giving out no more 5s. So the 5s before the Chronic are Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em by Eric B. and Rakim, All for One by Brand Nubian, Instinctive Travels by Tribe. I feel like I'm missing one. Did America's Most get the 5?
I was about to say, I think it was Cube. Yeah.
America's Most got the 5.
Yeah.
The music editor of the source shut all that shit down. And so what a lot of people don't know is that it took the staff being like, yo, you got to hand this 5 out. We got to give this 5 out. Okay? Listen to what I'm about to say. The only reason Southern Playalistic didn't get the 5 is because they had to fight to give a New York nigga from Queensbridge the 5. So 2 rappers from Atlanta that have only released a single that actually was on a Christmas compilation, they're not getting no 5.
Right. That's facts.
But Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music is the 5. And it's not just like, let me try to explain how groundbreaking this album is just for Southern rappers. much like how rappers rap before Rakim came along.
Mm-hmm.
Southernplayalistic is a Southern rappers album where it's like, oh no, everybody had to step their fucking game up after Southernplayalistic, and that's where I want to start because Ghetto Boys, UGK, 8 Ball and MJG, 3-6 Mafia. Go listen to their projects before Southernplayalistic, and go listen to the rhymes and the rhyme style, and go listen to how they sound after Southernplayalistic came out. Go listen to Bun B and Scarface before Southernplayalistic, and go listen after. Southernplayalistic has a Rakim paid in full like effect, in the effect that it upped the antes for all the rappers down here, even the ones that preceded OutKast. That's part of what makes it so groundbreaking down here. It didn't just cross and bleed over to the west and to the east. It made the other rappers who came before them that laid the foundation step their fucking rap game up. Bun B is not the MC that he is on Riding Dirty. Oh no, that's the first time Bun had rapped at that level consistently. Face is one of my top 5 MCs. The Diary comes out December of 94. Okay? Go listen to the way that Scarface is rapping on his first 2 solo albums, and then go listen to The Diary. His rap style got better. His rap style changed. And so Southernplayalistic isn't just important and groundbreaking because it crossed over. It made everybody who came before them that laid the foundation be like, oh, hold on, these dudes are on to something. They made the people that they looked up to step their rap game up. The South never rapped the same after Southernplayalistic because Andre and Big Boy were really the first MCs that we had that we could really take around and be like, no, I got somebody that can rhyme with your guy.
Yeah.
I got 2 guys that can rhyme with your guys.
Right.
We were making dope ass records, mostly Scarface and some of the 8 Ball and MJG. 8 Ball and MJG is coming out hard. UGK's first joint, Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped, Scarface's first album. Those are all classics, but they're classics for the beats and the feels and the structure and the songwriting that they provided. It wasn't lyrical. Cast made it cool to be lyrical down here. This wasn't a lyrical culture before OutKast made Southernplayalistic. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep, I can see that.
And so the most groundbreaking thing is how they actually affected their peers. That's always the best way to judge how great somebody is. We can talk all the day till we're blue in the face. You know what I'm saying? But when you make your peers that come before you step their game up, and your peers that come after you step their game up, and you can get the respect from the dudes in Compton and the respect from the dudes in Brooklyn and Bronx and Uptown and QB. That's what makes it so groundbreaking and landmark. Because, and here's the thing about it, they did it their way. We did it the Southern way. When you listen to the intro, it's this chick named Peaches talking on the intro. And she's got a distinct Southern twang. But if you actually listen to the background, these niggas are playing live instruments on the intro to the album, guys. Nobody in the South had ever really done that before because we learned, quite frankly, from the East Coast and the West Coast guys. So it's a lot of boom bap going on. Southernplayalistic isn't a boom bap rap album. It's a live instrumentation rap album, actually, and the first of its kind. If you go to Funky Ride, which is track 10 on there, nobody had ever actually had a hip hop classic where a nigga didn't rap on a whole record.
It's like a live funk session. Listen to it.
It is.
Right.
That's what I was saying last week about Organized Noise and Rico Wade and how important that he was, because they wanted to do it the Southern way. So the incorporation of the blues, funk, jazz came into play, but they kept it succinctly Southern and succinctly Atlanta. Now, here's something that I want to share with you. Big Boy has always been holding this group down. When you listen to the first album, it's hard to tell because you feel like they're going back and forth. But when I listened again over the last couple of days, I realized it's like, you want to know what? Dre's always been riffing like this.
Right.
It's just the whole team's been behind him the whole time. And never more was the team in function than they were to make sure that they put Atlanta and the South on the map the right way. Nobody has understood the assignment of what they were up against in the history of rap the way the Dungeon family understood the assignment for Southern Playalistic. The assignment was to level up the culture of Southern hip hop. And no album understands the assignment better than that. And so there's an approach that is really directed at making sure you know that we're from Atlanta and we can rap with y'all. Right. That's the focus of Southern Playalistic and why it's so important. I know a lot of East Coast cats feel that AT Aliens is their best album. You all feel that way? You all feel that way? Because AT Aliens doesn't have the live instrumentation that Southern Playalistic does. It has the traditional boom bap.
Right.
It has the MPC beat machine in effect. That's because OutKast had learned how to make beats from watching Rico. Okay? So Rico and them didn't do a lot of the tracks on AT Aliens. They did half of AT Aliens. They did all of Southern Playalistic. Okay? And just the verbiage, you have to understand, their interludes, Welcome to Atlanta, they're literally shouting out, letting you know where they're from. East Point, College Park, Decatur. If you look at the Georgia Dome, it still flies the Confederate battle flag. That's letting the people know we're dealing with oppression. It's a different type of oppression than what you're dealing with in your project buildings or in your gang culture in Compton. Our oppression down here isn't gang culture. It's not the streets and the crooked cops. It's the institutional racism. And so this album, content-wise, has more of a message than most of the classic rap albums made around that time. Like, there are classic rap albums that have a social consciousness to them for a couple of records. Like The Chronic has Lil Ghetto Boy and The Day the Niggas Took Over. But other than that, it's a fucking gangster party. We just got done talking about Illmatic. Well, Illmatic really doesn't have culture commentary. That's QB commentary that we can all relate to hood to hood. There are records on here like Claiming True, Crumbling Herb, Get Up, Get Out. It's speaking more to the level of oppression and racism we're facing down here in the South. Andre on this album makes specific references to how he's struggling to graduate from high school. And this is what I mean about Big Boy holding the group down even back then. While Dre is talking about, you know, his struggles, I'm making 300 on my SAT, yet I am equal. To graduate is really becoming a very stressful journey. I feel like a steering wheel because they is trying to turn me into a hate monger. And I'm wishing and I wonder, damn, will I graduate before I hit the summer? Andre's not 10 toes down with the rap life on Southern Playalistic. He's still trying to figure out if he wants to rap or if he wants to use his gifts and go off to school.
He still is.
He still is. That's what I mean. If you go back and listen, you will understand that it's like, oh no, he's always been riffing. He's just riffing about different things. The teenage version of him is concerned with his graduation from high school and why it's not happening because he feels like he's becoming a victim to the streets. Big Boy has already chosen the streets on Southern Playalistic. It's on my friend on the road again. I'm traveling about 65 on 85 up in my Cadillac. I got that nigga Dre, he riding shotgun and got my pump up on the seat in case these youngsters want to have some fun. You know, Big Boy's like, nah, I'm out here. I'm slanging. We about to make this rap shit work. Dre's the one that's riffing still on Southern Playalistic, and it provides that balance. And the balance just elevated itself over the years, almost until Andre elevated himself to a space that he didn't want to rap anymore. But when we go back and listen to it, he was always questioning whether he should be rapping.
You're right.
Because
he was.
He's always, y'all telling me that I need to get out and vote, huh? Why? Ain't nobody black running but crack curbs. So while I got the register, I'm thinking of better shit to do with my time. What'd he say? Never smell the aroma of diploma. He's talking about his school
that verse
shit.
is hard. Yeah.
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 And so a lot of the things that we saw in them later, we just weren't paying attention. They actually existed early. And I was like, oh, damn, I missed that.
Right.
But the theme and the motif of the album is to put Atlanta on the map. When Gip is on Get Up, Get Out, he's letting you know I'm out the point, the Campbellton Road, the Valley of the South Side flow. They're letting you know where they're at and what they're going through. And so they realized that nobody had ever talked about Atlanta. Everybody used to come down to Atlanta and party and have fun and freak Nick and come kick it with JD and like all that. But nobody had ever really talked about the streets of Atlanta. Southernplayalistic is the rap album where they actually talk about the streets of Atlanta. We went to Underground. We seen a lot of hoes around. Like, that was true. I remember when my big cousin who put me on the hip hop took me to Underground for the first time. He was like, come with me. We gonna go shopping. I was like, I was walking with him for about 10 minutes. I seen all the girls down in Underground. I was like, you sure we here to shop, cuz? He's like, well, if we get something from a store, we'll be good. I was like, I don't think you came down here to go to the store. So they spoke the pieces of Atlanta that out-of-towners knew about, but never expressed on record because they weren't from there. These guys made it life. They made it reality for all of us down here.
Right, right.
So it's very much Illmatic-like in the sense that it's like Nas had the responsibility of putting QB back on the map. These niggas had the whole city on their back. That's why they're talking about Campbellton, East Point, Decatur, the SWATs, College Park. The responsibility of the whole city was on their back because what makes Atlanta is all the ancillary parts, the east side, the south side, the west side, and the actual city. And that's what I mean about them understanding the assignment. They executed to perfection to make sure you knew exactly what the fuck Atlanta was really about. And it ain't the type of place that you should come down and party to. You can go to fucking chill in Ben Hill if you want to. Like Ben Hill, if you ride Campbellton Road up, it takes you to Ben Hill. That's actually where Cam Newton is from. Like, niggas from Ben Hill don't play like niggas from QB don't play. You know what I'm saying? And so they're kind of letting you know it's like, nah, we on the same shit that you on. If you listen to Ain't No Thing, that's Dre cocking a gun at the beginning of it. He's literally loading up and cocking the clip to a gun, talking about niggas in the point ain't changed. Niggas in the point ain't changed. That's why he's cocking the gun. He's letting you know, no, it's real down here too, fam. This ain't just where you come party and pick up broads and go to Freaknik. You know what I'm saying? You can get got down here too. Like, we rolling like that down here too. Like, there ain't no punking us, you know? And so they just understood the assignment while providing that social commentary. And so it's a marvelous piece of work. They blended everything so perfectly. They blended the boom back with the live instrumentation. They blended the street with the conscious. They blended the educational struggles with the street struggles. That was always the thing with Big Boy and Andre. One of them is a poet. One of them's a street dude. The blend has always been there. And it's the most important rap album to ever come out of the South. It got the acclaim. It did the numbers. But it's their street album. And they made a street album for Atlanta in a time in order to get respect in other places. You had to do something for your streets first. So it's very much like a Straight Outta Compton, a Criminal Minded. It's the same ethos that's going on. It's just with our Southern rap sensibilities. And it's just a super important album in that regard. Dre never rapped like this again after this album. That's how you know that it was a concerted effort to make this project this way. The shit that Dre talks on this album, he never raps like this again, not even remotely. You know, 357 to your forehead, there'll be mo dead. Dre don't talk like that. Dre don't be talking no killer shit on no other album, do we? Even by the time they got to Benz or a Beamer in 95, which is literally a year later, he's not talking like that. The world is yelling hootie hoo, but in my pocket, nothing but gum and lint, the sum, the shit. Up I'm broke, nothing but hopes of Big Boy telling what you toting. But Big Boy still talking that street shit. Right. I'm coming off the Jersey with 4 keys off in my trunk and thinking of starting ways to get that motherfucker crunk.
But so that dichotomy always worked, though.
Say what? Yeah.
That dichotomy always worked, though. You know.
Yeah, it worked early on. There are peanut butter and jelly. This is where this is the first peanut butter and jelly sandwich we got. You know what I'm saying? Remember the first time you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? He's like, damn, moms know how to hook it up. That's what this rap album is for Southern rap listeners. And it's not just that they fulfilled the aesthetic of supplying us in the South with dope music. They supplied all of y'all with dope hip hop music. It was something that y'all could listen to and enjoy. Be like, man, these Southern dudes really know how to rap. Oh, it's like, oh, these niggas is on the shit that we on. They got their streets and their corners too. They got their spots too. And so it connected very much in the same way Illmatic did for us down here is the way Southernplayalistic connected for y'all. It's like, oh no, them dudes is like us. You know, we're not that different. You got your hood shit, I got my hood shit. It's just the hoods down here are a little bit more divided, but it's very much way the boroughs are divided. It's like, no, like the SWAT's in Southwest Atlanta. Southwest Atlanta too strong. That's what the SWAT stand for. Decatur's East Side, but they rep in both because they understand they got to rep for everybody. Gip is from East Point. I think he went to East Point High. You know what I'm saying? Headland and Delow is in East Point. That's why they rep East Point so hard on this album, because the album got made in East Point in the dungeon at Rico Wade's mama house. Right. And so they just bought it all together. They had the pressure, they had the expectations, and they still said fuck it and did their own thing. Get Up, Get Out is the best posse cut ever nobody ever talks about. When we talk about greatest posse cuts of all time, Get Up, Get Out doesn't ever get mentioned. You're going to be hard pressed to find two all-time great verses on a posse cut this side of the symphony outside of Get Up, Get Out. Like the last time I can think of two people that came the way CeeLo and Andre did on a track that is classic and that everybody knows the words to is G-Rap and Kane on the symphony. Yeah. So they're operating at a certain level. And the level is beautiful, and we had never seen anything like it before. They made us believe, guys. Like Illmatic made me want to rap. Southernplayalistic let me know that I could. I didn't believe that I could rap. I just wanted to rap. I was like, the way he describing the neighborhood, because I'm a writer, makes me want to write. But niggas down here don't rap like that. We listen to Kilo. Do you hear what I hear? That boom, booty shake, Uncle Luke. That was the thing down here. Doo-Doo Brown. That was the thing down here. Atlanta Live. That was the thing. They changed the whole thing. Like when I mean they changed it overnight, I mean they changed it overnight. It was like one day we was crawling and we was just shaking our asses. The booty shake music and the BPMs was like 126 BPMs. And here these niggas come with live guitars and drums and intricate rhyme patterns and thoughtful rhymes. Right. I don't recall ever graduating at all. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a disappointment to y'all. We didn't talk like that before. Not down here. They changed the way that we talk. And they got us our respect at the same time without losing any of the Southern sensibilities. They made it a point to kind of keep the Southern sensibilities alive, even on ATLians. When you listen to stuff called Wheels of Steel is their version of hip hop booty shake. Like the BPMs of that song, that's more traditional of what Atlanta sounded like before OutKast and Goody came along. But this is the album. And the only reason it didn't get a 5 is because, well, the greatest rap album of all time got released a week before, but this album isn't that far behind. There's no skips on this project. Even the interludes are important. Like, I'll tell you guys something. I listened to the interlude today and I forgot what made me fall in love with them. What made me fall in love with them was the name of the group, OutKast. Define OutKast. Adjective meaning homeless or unaccepted in society. So I'm going to tell you as a Southerner why I related. You guys listen to the way I talk, right? I'm from Charlotte. I was raised in Atlanta. Most dudes in Charlotte and Atlanta don't talk like me. I was an outcast. People always used to be like, yo, why Coop talk like he from up top? Why Coop don't talk like us? And so they made me feel okay with being an outcast, even in my own Southern upbringing, because I didn't sound or talk like anybody else. First of all, my mom and my aunts worked in customer service, beat my ass for talking that slang. Beat your ass. Beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't allowed to talk like that in my home. My mom and my aunts are extremely articulate and well-spoken women. They do not play that shit. So it was a requirement in my home to be thoughtful and articulate and not to talk the way the dudes in the neighborhood was talking. But people used to get on me all the time about the way that I talked when I was growing up. And I used to tell them, I'd be like, I'm gonna rep this shit harder than you. And they'd be like, how? I'll be like, because I'm gonna get out of here. And so they made me feel comfortable in my own skin just by the name of their group. Like, they're so important to me personally because of that. And I had forgotten that until I heard Big Rube speak today. I was like, I remember when I felt like an OutKast. Part of the reason why I rep Atlanta and Charlotte so hard is because I never sounded like I was from down here.
Right.
I don't sound like the dudes down here don't talk like me. And I've always known that, you know? And so it's almost like that thing. It's like when you the smallest nigga on the block, so you got to be the toughest nigga on the block because you the smallest nigga on the block. Well, when you the only nigga on the block without a Southern twang, how you think that shit play in the neighborhood? Because it don't play well. The shit don't play well. You know what I'm saying? Like Sean, imagine you being in Corona at 13 years old and a dude living up there that has a succinctly Southern draw and dialect. Shit ain't gonna play well with the neighborhood. That's what I went through growing up down here. And so they were my safe space. They made me feel okay. It's like, yeah, I'm different, but it's okay. They're different. Like, these are Southern guys that can rap like East Coast guys. I can do that. They made me believe.
Can I speak to that for a second, Coop? Just the whole, because myself, I'm from West Virginia, right? So stop it, Sean.
My bad. That's crazy though. Right.
But we're regionless. But we're regionless here. But geographically, we're closer to the South. Now you got to rewind back to '94. '94 was an era where the West Coast was running the radio waves. But my musical palette, I would gravitate towards the East Coast sound. And prior to this, the only Southern act that I listened to was Ghetto Boys. At one time, Scarface was my second favorite rapper behind Ice Cube until I discovered Nas in '94. So we're
Same
at a
here.
point. What's that?
Same here.
Oh, that's what's up, Coop. Great minds, right? But so Southernplayalistic came out at a pivotal moment for me because, like I said, West Coast was running things. My palette was East Coast. It wasn't too many down south acts that I was checking for, even though geographically I was closer. But Southernplayalistic came out, and I really felt the way that they were spitting that I could listen to Doggy Style, I could listen to 36 Chambers, I could listen to Illmatic, and then put on Southernplayalistic, and it wasn't a drop-off. You know what I mean? You could play that album amongst all the other dope lyrical albums. If you wanted that West Coast G-Funk, you could still put on Southernplayalistic sonically, and it could go, you know, like toe-to-toe with any of those G-Funk records. So I think it was an album that really planted the flag in the ground for him. You know what I mean? It was, putting Atlanta on the map. And then for me personally, ATL is my favorite OutKast album, is what cemented that. Because to Coop's point, that's what made me a fan, because I'm like, oh, they rapping like Nas, like Jay, like Big, especially Dre. He's rapping at that elite level. But Southernplayalistic was the genesis of all that, perked up my ear and made me really take notice. Like, okay, these guys I can put in the mix with the other guys that I hold up high. You know what I mean? Whether it be from the West or up top from New York. So that's what the album meant to me.
That's a good point, AG.
There are so many regional things about the album that people didn't understand at the time. And this is what I mean. They made it for everybody, but they still made it for Atlanta. Like the interlude Flim Flam, when he's talking about 18 karat gold motherfucking carat. From white folks in Bankhead, Buckhead. Well, if you're from down here, that makes you laugh because Bankhead is the roughest part of West Side Atlanta. Buckhead is the richest white neighborhood. So when he said Bankhead, Buckhead, and he slipped up like that, that was inside information, an inside joke for all of us in Atlanta that knew. It's like, oh no, this nigga out here slumming. He got some bullshit from Bankhead trying to make it seem like it's from Buckhead. That's two different worlds down here. That's literally like going from QB to Manhattan.
Right.
And so it still kept its personal nuance. Like they still made it for us, but they made it digestible for everybody else. And that's what I mean about them understanding the assignment and how nobody understood the assignment like that. They kept it succinctly Atlanta to keep their reputation and their foundation strong down here. but it was hard to deny the fact that the sensibilities went beyond the borders of Atlanta. It's truly the only rap album of its kind in that regard, where it kept it succinctly Atlanta, but it transferred to the West. It transferred to the East. And this is what I mean, succinctly onto its own. All the great East Coast and West Coast albums transferred down here. Name the rap album before Southernplayalistic that transfers like Southernplayalistic, because the next album that's like that is The Diary, but The Diary comes out 7 months after Southernplayalistic, not before. We had never had an album transfer like that.
Right.
The Chronic and Doggy Style is transferring. America's Most and Death Certificate's transferring. Life is Too Short is transferring. Illmatic, 36. Low End Theory, Midnight Marauders, transferring. My cousin used to run around singing Benito Applebun off People's Instinctives. I didn't know what the fuck he was singing.
Mm-hmm.
It transferred.
Right.
This is our first album that transferred to the masses, but it didn't feel like they were trying to transfer it. It still feels like they made it for us, the same way it still feels like Nas made Illmatic for Queens. That's why it's so ironic that these albums came out a week apart, because they kind of had the same goals in mind.
No
it's
doubt.
like, no, I want to rep my neighborhood. It just so happens they rep the neighborhood so well that it went everywhere. But East Coast albums had done that before. Every nigga on the West Coast had a copy of Paid in Full. Don't tell me that they didn't. I knew who Rakim was before I'd ever heard one of his albums in full. He had transferred. I knew who KRS-One was before I heard any of his albums in full. He transferred. The first rap album that I listened to from beginning to end was The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick. It transferred. This is our first transfer piece, and it's a classic transfer piece.
No doubt.
Yep,
I think for me, I'm be honest, full transparency, I didn't get on to OutKast until 95, because 94 was so heavy. 94, you had Illmatic, you had Ready to Die, you had J. Rue the Damager, you had Craig Mack, you had the G-Funk era was still there. You had, you still was coming off of Wu-Tang. You had Method Man that same year, 94. So it was just a lot of stuff around, any act from outside of New York. For me, for young me, I was 14 in 94. I had just turned 14 the week after, Southernplayalistic came out. But at that time, I was pretty much putting Atlanta in the same box as Florida, to be quite honest, because back then you had the booty music. We called it the booty music. We were like, yo, we got guys wearing Miami Hurricane outfits doing a butterfly. It was weird. Like, that's wild to see guys wearing, Miami Hurricanes outfits and doing a butterfly, because we didn't understand that. We were like wearing baggy jeans, Timbos dragging the floor. It was that. It wasn't wearing, Miami Hurricane gear doing a butterfly and dancing all over the place. So we kind of put, I kind of put OutKast in that same box. You know what I'm saying? Because it was more like, I didn't want to give them a chance just yet, because again, this is another group out of the South. During the time, the South was really just kind of doing a lot of dance music. Like you said, Coop, it was more of like that bass music. Boom, boom, like that bass music was going crazy.
Boom, 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 boom. Big booty hoes, hump with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When Andre made that comment at the Source Awards, and we're all in the same age group. We're all now in our early 40s. We remember the Source Awards in 95. It was the biggest thing, pause, in hip hop at that time. Maybe still one of the biggest events ever in hip hop, because so much happened at the Source Awards, right?
Sean, the Source Awards is the top 10 moment in hip hop history, and the most memorable moment about the Source Awards might be the fact that a Southern rapper got on stage while he was getting booed and be like, hey, you got a demo and nobody to listen to it, but all I got to say is that the South got something to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Night quote. Those are the two most famous. Well,
yes, I'm about to say the Suge moment and the Andre moment. Yep.
And then the Snoop, the East Coast thing I love for Snoop Dogg. Those are the top three quotes from that night.
Top three quotes. So imagine young me, 14 years old, I'm seeing this guy coming on stage saying that the South got something to say. We showed it in our promo in the beginning. The South got something to say. I had to go back and listen to that, because I got relatives that from that area were like, yo, you need to get on this. I need you to hear Hootie Hoo. That was the first song I heard off of Southernplayalistic, was Hootie Hoo.
So So what's crazy, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is what was so important about them. It wasn't the singles that blew them up. It was Hootie Who. It was the players' call. Hootie Who is the players' call.
Yes.
Follow the funk from the skank that is dank, that it's crunk, which is the first time I heard anybody use the word crunk. Big Boy's using the word crunk in 94 on Hootie Who. It goes on and on and on like that, going out to the Jeeps and the hoes and the lack. We ain't talking about Benzes and Infinities and BMWs.
No.
Dre is talking about rolling reefer out of a Regal. We riding in Cadillacs and Regals down here.
Right.
And Jeeps. We're not riding around in Benzes and like we wasn't doing that back then.
No, not at all. Not at all. It was foreign to us at that time. Because again, you're talking about we're literally still in the G-Funk era. And we're also crossing over into the hardcore boom bap era for New York. Because there is a dark side that was very dark. Illmatic was really dark, right? Ready to Die was dark.
So was the Sunrises in the East by J. Rue. All those albums are dark.
It was dark. So we were coming off of that. And like AG said, for me, the first song, the intro and the first song of Southern Playalistic, it played into the algorithm to me of the East Coast. Because you got my intro to let you know, I was like, yo, who are these guys? They came out of nowhere from the South and it was spitting. And again, I'm a year removed from that. I'm catching back. This is 95. I'm 15 now, going back to listen to an album that came out in 94. Because we were listening to the Brat more so than we were listening to OutKast during that time too, because the Brat was killing it. Chris Cross was killing it before then. So
Funkdafied the classic.
Yeah.
Funkdafied by the Brat is a classic. It's still my favorite female rap album.
It was going crazy. You had to respect it. So we had to circle back to Southern Playalistic. And when we circled back, it was like, oh, Hootie Who? Oh, Claiming True? Oh, my intro, let you know. Oh, okay, this what y'all doing? It was
this is what I mean. So even on my intro to let you know, this is what I mean about how they balance so well, keeping in Atlanta, but reaching people like you. So when Big Boy's rapping, chilling off in the ghettos, or should I be saying Lakewood, you better be strapped, cause them niggas over there just ain't good. Look here, last year, a rapper that I know that I was trying to help put on, one of his mans at a gas station in Lakewood got into a shootout, and it got on camera and it made the news. And all I thought about was Big Boy's verse on intro to let you know. And I was like, damn, I'm like, the niggas in Lakewood still ain't up to no good.
Right.
It's fucking 2023. They released that album in 94. He was putting us on the map, but he was still feeding into a hip hop aesthetic where it was pleasing to you. That's what I mean. They're shouting out all the neighborhoods: Lakewood, Campbellton Road, Decatur, the Swats, East Point, College Park. It was important to us. We didn't have that representation before. Like they repped us to the fullest, but they repped hip hop to the fullest too. We never had anything like that.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. Where do y'all rank OutKast amongst the duos of hip hop? Not so much as the groups. That's a tall task, but the duos of hip hop.
The conversation is just between them and Mobb at the end of the day.
Okay. No EPMD?
No.
So I knew you was gonna ask that question, Sean, and I was already prepared for it. As far as official duos go, they're the best official duo to ever pick up a mic. Because the only other so here's the thing about it. And I love Havoc.
Yeah.
And I love his production.
Yeah. I know you about to go. Yeah.
Big Boy and Andre are better rappers than Havoc. And you also have to understand they produced a bulk of AT Aliens and Aquemini themselves. And so their production chops, although not quite Havoc level, in my opinion, comparable. They're superior MCs to Havoc, though. Now, more range. Now, if I'm picking an order between the four, I'm probably still putting Prodigy at number one because his mic performance on the Infamous and Hell on Earth is, so we just had a conversation behind the scenes. 96 Nas, it's the best rapper we ever heard.
Yeah.
But if you told me Prodigy was the second best rapper that you heard in 96, outside of the greatest rapper we ever heard, that wasn't a stretch. P was like that.
It wasn't. Yeah. Even if you said 1B, I wouldn't really argue. I wouldn't give you a heartburn.
I mean, for me, in 95, Nas and Ray are clearly better rappers than Prodigy, but not by much. But by 96, he's maybe just as good and probably past Ray and creeping up on Nas.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
a lot.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Coop.
So saying a lot. It's a mouthful.
I love 96P, but are you putting 96P over 96 Dre?
Okay, so I've had this conversation before. If you go check it rhyme for rhyme, I love Andre, and 96 Dre is a special guy, but it's more of a Rakim and 86 type effect with 96 Dre. We had never had a Southern nigga rap like that. And so
different. Yeah.
I try to look at the curve. Like, let's look at the curve. 96P. First of all, 96P is around 96 Nas. So he has a level to attain and something to shoot for.
Absolutely.
And 95 Raekwon.
Right. And 95 Ray. And before that, Cool G Rap.
Yeah.
Just if we just want to keep it Queens, he's got Nas and G Rap before him.
Right.
He's got Ray right there because Staten Island and QB had that connection around the time. Yeah. Rakim recorded fucking My Melody in QB, so he's got Rakim. He's got stuff to go off of and stuff to shoot for. So if we're talking about grading it on a curve, it's Andre, just because Andre had nothing to shoot for the way P did. And so the jump that Andre made is the greatest jump for a region that I've ever seen a rapper make. That's why I'm making the Rakim analysis. Like the way Andre's rapping in 96, nobody down here in the South had ever rapped close to that level.
No.
And I love me some Face, but Face wasn't there lyrically, even on the Diary, the way Andre is on ATLians, but he just doesn't have the competition that P has to up the ante all the way to the highest level. He don't have a 96 Nas in the studio getting beats from his fucking producer. Like, think about that. Like, Nas is right there next to him getting beats from his right-hand man while he's making arguably the best lyrical piece of work that we've ever heard. Andre doesn't have that. And so Andre's degree of difficulty is much greater. The curve is much greater. The jump is much greater. But if we just go in bar for bar, like I said, 96P is probably only superseded by 96 Nas. What the fuck does that tell you about how he was rapping?
Yeah, P was a monster. For me, P was more surgical with it, where Dre was more eloquent, right? But I'm going to call that a wash. But then the order would shake out after that. You got Big Boy, then, Havoc, coming in last. But
yeah.
How about this? The only duo that lyrically is comparable to Big Boy and Andre are both unofficial duos, and that's Ray and Ghost and Meth and Red. That's their comps. That should let you know the level that those guys operate on lyrically. It's like the only real comps for them. It's like, I know a lot of Tribe fans feel like type of way when I say this, but it's like Andre's a better rapper than Q-Tip and Big Boy's a better rapper than Fife. It's not the conversation that you make it that you think it is.
I think
same thing with EPMD. Same thing with EPMD.
Unofficial duos, I mean, Nas and AZ, and then Jada and Styles could enter that conversation. You know what I mean? And then, did you say Ray and Ghost? Okay,
so here's the thing about it. Nas and A only got about 9-10 tracks together.
With just them two, you know what I mean?
That's not enough.
Right.
It's not enough.
It just doesn't last. Yeah.
Ray and Ghost and Meth and Red got those bodies of work. It's like, oh no, they got so many classic songs together. Like, here's the advantage that Ray and Ghost have. It's like, well, they got the Purple Tape and Iron Man.
And Iron
Man. Got the Purple Tape and Iron Man.
Like, back to back. Like, and there's no skips. Like, I mean,
right.
So, let me ask you all this because we're talking about duos and the chemistry. So between OutKast and Mobb, and then Sean, you can get into the parallels that you was wanting to make. Who would you say had the most chemistry between those two duos?
Wow. That's a really good question, bro. That's a really good because if I can channel Coop here, when I think about Cass, Big Boy was on a whole different trajectory than Stacks was from inception, and I think it's because of their upbringing. You know, I guess if you look at it like this, Big Boy was rooted in West Savannah, right? He's from. I was stationed in Savannah, Georgia. It's a whole Savannah, Georgia, and Atlanta are two totally different monsters.
That's different worlds.
Two
Different worlds.
Two different worlds. And I think they're only 3.5 hours apart from each other. So two different worlds. So for them to be able to even come together and put out classic music, to me, is an anomaly within itself, because they have two different trajectories, two different styles, two different ways of seeing things. Big Boy has always been on that pimp stuff.
Yeah.
Stacks was always on that education stuff. He was always on that awareness.
Andre's an artist, like actual drawer, painter,
Yes.
sketch artist.
Yes.
Like
he's eclectic.
He could have
He's
been
more eclectic.
Yeah.
And Big Boy is more street savvy. You can hear it. And for them to clash and make what they made, to me, it's an anomaly. But then you go to Havoc and you go to Prodigy, and they're more in sync. They're more continuity because of their background. Queens is Queens. Although Prodigy, wasn't, born and bred in QB, he was adopted by QB. He was molded by QB, if you will. And those parallels are for them being in sync is right there. So I think my answer would be Mobb.
So let me piggyback off that. Let me piggyback off, not to cut you off, AG. Let me piggyback off that right quick, Sean, because I didn't realize this till I went to New York. Oh, QB's not that far from Long Island. QB is actually on the Long Island side of things more than technically on the Queen side of things, correct?
Right. Yep.
So when you're hearing like Rakim is from Wyandanch, Long Island, P is from Hempstead, Long Island, that's not a far trip to get to the bridge.
20-30 minutes, if that.
Yeah. Maybe. Like when I went there, like niggas was telling me like, yeah, we in Long Island now. I was like, when? I was like, we out of Queens? They're like, yeah, it's like Long Island right here, nigga.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know. I was like, I thought we was going the other way. They was like, no, South Side and Corona and all that. That's that way.
Right. Right.
It's like there's QB, left rack, and then it's like you damn near in Long Island 10 minutes after that, correct?
Exactly.
Right. So it's like the neighborhood would dictate. Like that's like me. It's like my family's from West Boulevard in Charlotte, but I came up on Beatty's Ford Road too. But that's about 15, 20. Yeah, Beatty's Ford. I used to live right off Southwest Boulevard on the Ford. Yeah, I went to high school at West Charlotte. That's right off the Ford.
Exactly where that's at. Yeah.
Right. So West Boulevard is West Side, but Beatty's Ford is West Side too. But they're about 15, 20 minutes apart. But it's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas know each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, you know them niggas from Roselle's Ferry and Beatty's Ford. It's like, yeah, you know them niggas from West Boulevard and fucking Wilmore. It's like, yeah, it's 15 minutes up the street. Of course I know them niggas.
Right.
Exactly. Right. So in this discussion, I'm glad the Mobb was brought up because we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that anniversary, right? So the Infamous is celebrating the 29th anniversary today. We just got through covering Southernplayalistic's 30th anniversary. And Sean, I know you wanted to make some parallels between those two albums, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I think I was listening on my flight this morning. I was going back and forth from the Infamous and Southernplayalistic. And there's so many parallels to what these guys are saying. And Coop actually kind of stole my thunder in the beginning because, AG, you remember I was talking to you briefly about it. I said, when I listened to OutKast, their oppression was different than Mobb's oppression. Pete was on some, I don't care. I'm going to get at these guys. I'm getting at everybody because I'm under pressure. Whereas our OutKast, their pressure was from the society that were in the South, having the Confederate flag being raised in front of them and dealing with racism in the South. Whereas in New York, your enemy was the ones that looked just like you, the ones that would just come in, the ones that you touch palms together and you thought was your brother. In the South, it was evident. You knew who were the oppressor, because again, it was a reason for that, especially during that time where tensions were high all over again in the late 80s and early 90s in the South. So Mobb's take on everything was, we have to create more awareness of what's happening out here because the system is holding us back. I can't see myself getting a high school diploma or even going to college because the system is not designed for me to succeed. Whereas Mobb was saying, yo, I don't even care anymore because the city is wild right now. The opportunities are there, but I don't think I can make it because everything around me just doesn't make sense to me. My guys are getting killed by my own brothers. People getting knocked off. So much is going on in the city. So you have two different perspectives that actually kind of intertwines into one algorithm if you think about it. Because I go back and I listen to the start of your ending and I listen to my intro to let you know. I'm going back and forth to these songs like 5 or 6 times this morning on my flight. And I was like, yo, they're saying
same world.
Thing.
Same world.
Yeah.
Same world. Same world.
And I'm glad I listened to it today because I haven't listened to both of these albums in such a long time. And I had to listen to with different ears to see if the parallel was really there. And then you go back and you start listening to 41st Side versus East Side Atlanta. It's all the same thing.
It's two sides of the same coin. It's two sides. Because if you listen to Get Up, Get Out, and then Survival of the Fittest,
yes,
different perspectives of the same coin,
Right. Because you're going up against it. Like, Coop, like you said earlier, you're from Charlotte by way of Atlanta as well. So you saw things through a different lens as young Coop did. You saw things, you dealt with things that I might not be able to identify. And I fully understand.
So let me speak to that because it's like I kind of knew we were going to end up going here. I want people to understand this. So I grew up on the east side mostly when I was down here, Decatur and Lithonia, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Stone Mountain was literally like the neighborhood that I used to live in, that I spent the most time in because we moved around a lot. You could see Stone Mountain from the top of my neighborhood. Like if you rode your bike to the top of my neighborhood, you could see Stone Mountain there. Now, when you're 7, 8 years old, you don't understand. When I was in 4th grade, I tried to do my book report on Dr. King, and my teacher made me do it on Robert E. Lee instead. That's what I mean about the institutional racism being different down here. Where I work right now, I work on a street deep on the east side, past Stone Mountain, where they used to have Klan rallies when I was a kid. I work on a street right now that used to have Klan rallies when I was a kid in the late 80s and early 90s here. And so the institutional foundation of some things are different down here. But the plight is still the same. The way the public school system is trash up there, it's trash down here too.
Yes.
Part of people understand. People like, people have made jokes for years. It's like, Coop, you live in the woods. It's like, well, I live in the woods because the woods got the best schools for my daughter. Because I know what it's like growing up in the public school system on the fucking east side of Atlanta. And there's not a good chance of you fucking getting out.
Right.
It's not a good chance. You were going, what Biggie say on his intro? You either slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot.
Yeah.
Let's
same shit down here.
Yeah.
Let's stay down in Atlanta for a little bit before we get on this heavy Atlanta album talk. So before we get off Southernplayalistic, what are y'all gentlemen's top 3 songs off the album? Just kind of putting a bow on it for Southernplayalistic.
Shoot, man, I think mine. My intro to Let You Know, Hootie Who, and Claiming True. Those are my joints.
So cool.
First of all, before I even say anything, I want to say that you remember the transition from the day the niggas took over to Nothing But a G thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second best transition beat wise in the history of rap is the transitioning from Crumbling Herb into Hootie Who.
Facts.
That's what I mean about the nuances of the album. Remember when the drums break down and it
absolutely
boom, 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 boom. Hootie Who. Yeah, that's next.
I got one other above that. Is Rap Game, Crap Game to Where I'm From on Volume 1.
I still think that I can give that a bronze medal on a day like today.
Yeah,
but I just say that to say,
plug, man.
But Organized Noise production level was doing Dr. Dre comparable stuff in 1994. Is why I'm making that point.
Yeah,
big facts. Big facts.
Okay,
and it's not stated enough. It is not stated enough.
It's not stated enough.
Yes.
That's why the Rico Wade thing hurts. He's his memorial service is actually a couple of days at Ebenezer Baptist Church. You know, rest in peace to him, and you know, condolences to his family.
No doubt.
For me, Ain't No Thing might still be my favorite OutKast song ever. I love Ain't No Thing. Ain't No Thing is my shit. I played Ain't No Thing today. It's like, I love the nuances of that record. First of all, it's the only record that those two guys have with 2 verses apiece from them. And Big Boy is freestyling at the end on some New York rap shit. We coming around Atlanta, and them niggas are really strapped with the motherfucking guns and the motherfucking glass. The heat is the gats, nigga. Don't quit. It don't stop. Ain't No Thing is my shit. I'm actually with Sean. Claiming True to me is the hidden gem of that album that people don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
And Crumbling Herb was my favorite record too. Ain't No Thing and Crumbling Herb specifically were my favorite records. Claiming True was to me the piece of the album where the album really kept together and let you know that, to quote Andre, the South had something to say. That's the record that I go to. It's like, if you want to know, like Claiming True is our memory lane.
Okay.
So those would be my 3.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Crumbling Herb would probably be my honorable mention, but my top 3 would be Get Up, Get Out. Number 1, number 2 would be Hootie Hoo, and number 3 would be Players Ball. I mean, you couldn't escape it. I mean, it was everywhere. We heard that like all the time, you know, where I lived at, and it just, you know, blew them up. You know what I mean? They was actually moving a lot of records with that song. So,
no doubt.
So I'll tell you this. Down here, Southernplayalisticadillacmuzik was the record more than Players Ball was.
I can see that.
Because there was something more succinctly Southern about that record.
Right.
Players Ball, we knew we made Players Ball for mass consumption. Southernplayalisticadillacmuzik was for us.
To that point, though, Players Ball, from the video to the sound, fit the aesthetic of what was going on at the time. Like, you know, from like the Big Papa, you know, that type of vibe, you know.
Hold on. Well, since you're bringing up Big Papa, you know Puff directed Players Ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that
it makes sense. Ties in.
Right. Ties in.
So, Sean, you ready to jump off this album talk to give them the definitive top 10 from Hip Hop Talks?
Yeah. We got this. We got to let Coop lead us on this one because he's the Southern expert on this joint. So we're going to rank the top 10 most pivotal albums from Atlanta.
Hold on, we talking Atlanta, right?
Yes,
not the South, Atlanta.
Just Atlanta.
Yeah, I think we have enough to do Atlanta.
Okay.
Are we going best or pivotal?
That's what I was about to ask.
I would say pivotal. Can we blend it? Can we blend pivotal and best?
Let's do it.
We can do that.
Let's do it.
So am I starting out? Go ahead, AG.
I had a question, and this might be controversial, but let's start at 10 and work our way to 1.
Yeah.
But, you know, from recency bias, and I'm not saying this is my pick, but from all the noise that it made last year and the critical acclaim it got, does Michael have a place on this list anywhere?
No.
In short, okay, so we're moving on.
No.
I'm not saying it does. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions.
Not to be funny, it's just not good enough.
No.
And I'm with you on that.
No.
It's not good enough.
So what's the submission? What submissions do you gentlemen have?
I would start by telling you.
Let's let Coop do it and we debate it.
Let's start. Since we're doing pivotal mixed with quality, I'll tell you that Ludacris's first album, Back for the First Time, belongs in that top 10. It was originally Incognito, which was an EP, but Ludacris is actually our first solo superstar down here in Atlanta.
I can see that.
So that's pivotal.
You say that over word of mouth?
Okay, so for me personally, I think Chicken and Beer is his best album, but if we're mixing pivotal with quality, Back for the First Time, because what Luda did, Luda's the first MC down here to create a hit-making formula.
Yeah.
Like succinctly to be a hit-making formula. And so
What was the lead single off of that?
What's Your Fantasy?
You got to go with. I got to go with that too.
And Southern Hospitality is on there. Throw them both.
You got to go with that. I was in Japan when that came out. And it was
and on a personal level, Use a Hoe is on there. You doing hoe activities with hoe tendencies. Hoes are your friends. Hoes are your enemies. Yeah. He was funny. He was a character. He's very much off the Busta Rhymes and Redman tree in regard to his personality. Sometimes being even bigger than the rhyme scheme, even though the rhyme scheme is dope.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So that would be towards the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I'd put that at 10. Dirty Sprite 2 by Future.
That needs to be there. I'm all for that.
It's on there.
Definitely needs to be on there.
Yeah.
So we're saying Back for the First Time, number 10, Dirty Sprite, number 9.
It's fluid. It's subject to change, but I'm just taking note. Yeah. DS2 is really no debate on that.
Okay.
Number 8, I would tell you.
Can I make a submission at number 8?
Yeah, go ahead, please do.
I'm gonna throw King into the hat.
No, King is on there.
Is it 8? I would have King a little bit higher, personally.
No, I mean just as a submission. You know what I'm saying? It could be higher as just a submission that needs to be on the list.
So King. Yeah. I was actually trying to decide if I was going to go King. I was thinking about Lil Jon's first album, but I was struggling to think of the name. Not Crunk Juice, but the first album he did Down Here, because that was really, really big Down Here. I'm trying to think of the name right now. I might have to look it up. It's been a minute. King is up there. King is Tip's best mic performance, and Tip is the best MC to come out of the South, out of Atlanta. Absolutely. Not out of the South. I would still put Scarface
solo because
in a vacuum, Andre is better, but Andre can't make trap music in King and Paper Trail.
Yeah, to the commercial audience that T.I. gained during his run was crazy.
He's the best. He's the most versatile rapper to ever come out of the South, for one.
So to that point, let me ask you this, Coop. You know, being down in Atlanta, what was more pivotal for Atlanta, trap music or King when he entered that upper echelon?
Trap music, and it's not even conversational.
So does that mean both of those albums make this list?
Absolutely, because trap music is probably top 5 for me, and we're about to have that conversation. I want you to understand, when my right-hand man heard trap music, the nigga called me and he was like, come here right now. I was an hour away from him. I thought niggas was trying to get at him because we was having some problems out here. You understand? And so I'm hopping in my car with like thinking it's some action. He just wanted to play trap music for me. I'm like, nigga, you got me out here like I'm ready to get out the whip and start with the shits. And I'm like, and you just want to play this rap album for me? I was like, this better be one of the best rap albums I ever heard. And he looked at me and he said, this is the best rap album that we've had since Goody and OutKast first dropped. And I was like, put that shit on. It's like, never mind. Let me put this shit back on safety. Click.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, trap music was like that. It was like that. It's actually top 5.
Somebody in the chat plugged Life in 1472.
I like it, but the first half is supreme and the second half not so much. So I'm going to respectfully say no.
It's too much.
It's too much. And quite frankly, the album starts off with a Nas feature, a Jay-Z feature, and a DMX feature. Well, that's not really Southern. And the best song on there might be the Slick Rick feature, Fresh. And the other best song might be the Brat and Crazy Bone, Come and Get You Some. Like, all the best records on there actually aren't Southern. Right, and there's a fucking Primo track with Snoop on there. It's not a Southern rap album.
It's a Southern album. It's a Southern compilation album with reach to the masses in all the different regions.
But is it a Southern compilation when you use more East Coast and Midwest artists than you do Southern artists?
That's a fair point.
That doesn't make it pivotal for the A as well.
Right.
No, not as pivotal. Now, if we're talking quality, it's probably top 10. If we're just talking quality, right, it can probably. How about this? I think 1472 is better than Back for the First Time, quality wise, because of the songs on there.
But like, it's too much help from other areas. Y'all are right.
Yeah, I mean, People forget, like the first record, the Nas joint, that's Kanye's first real album placement. That's Kanye's beat.
Yep.
Money Ain't a Thing is on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get your shit right with
That's
DMX, which is better
Prior,
than both of them.
prior to
That's
volume
true.
2.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
The fucking
That's true.
the DMX record better than the J and Nas record to me on there. X was the fucking man.
That album wasn't made to continue to put Atlanta on the map. It wasn't made for that.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was made to cross over. That's
Yeah.
why you had a compilation of different artists who were hot at the time.
Right.
So I want to call that pivotal for Atlanta.
Right.
So what we giving number 8? Are we landing on King for right now? Are we gonna put some trap music on that? What we gonna do?
I'm
think cool with King because trap
high.
music is higher.
So put King.
Yeah, I'm cool with King.
8. All right.
King at 8.
So if King's at 8, where would Thug Motivation 101 land?
Okay, so when I'm talking top 5, that's why I'm saying it's like, oh, it might be top 5. That depends on how you feel. So I'll tell you what, on the previous company that I used to be affiliated with, we actually had Nick Love, who was actually the marketing director for TM 101 on, and he and I got into a heated debate about 101 versus trap music. I picked trap music. He picked 101. But here's what I will tell you. Trap music changed the scene down here. But the biggest shit that I ever seen in the streets of Atlanta was Jeezy's movement before 101 dropped.
It was crazy.
Yep.
It was crazy.
I've never seen anything like that in my life before or since. That and when I moved out to Cali and the game and just came out with the documentary, as far as the streets just telling you who got it.
It was different.
And this is hip hop, right?
Yeah, the Snowman was a movement for real.
It was a
I
big
don't think
movement.
Even for people who know, you had to have been down here to fully understand. I've never seen anything like it.
Not at all. Not at all.
I think trap music is a better album end to end. But if we're talking, like I said, if we're blending and talking quality plus impact, I actually gonna give TM the nod over trap music. So we actually need to pick a couple albums before we get to that too.
Okay. So we at 7. Where would you put Soul Food?
Top 3.
That's up there.
It's up there.
Okay.
So here's what I'll tell you. That's where I would go.
That's
I would go Kings of Crunk because okay, so understand what's left for us down here in our mind. Well, we got 3 OutKast albums, 1 Goody album, and Tip's trap music and Jeezy's 101. So it's about how you want to layer those next 6 because that's the conversation.
I'm glad you said 3 OutKast albums. So let's address the elephant in the room. So you limited it to 3. So obviously you taking Stankonia off there, correct?
Stankonia's okay. So the problem with Stankonia is Aquemini, ATLiens, and Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music.
Right.
That's the problem with Stankonia.
Right.
The bar is so high at this point.
It just doesn't make it. I'm just asking questions. And then
it's like when you pole vault 17 feet and then you can only pole vault 15 feet.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So another question, just kind of seeing where things are at. Why isn't Speaker Box and The Love Below revered and talked about amongst the best double albums in hip hop? Is it because Dre is singing on his half, or people look at it as like 2 separate solo albums and don't really look, because nobody really talks about that amongst the great double albums and how impactful it was.
Big Boy's album could have been great, like borderline classic great, had he cut some records. I feel like he needed to cut about 5 records off a Speaker Box.
Yeah.
Runtime, it was still short. It had a lot of tracks, but runtime wise, it was a short album.
Still, some of the records just kind of felt like, how about this? The record with Jay-Z and Killer Mike, it's like in relationship to the quality of some of the other records, you could have kept it. Like Unhappy, Bow Tie, The Way You Move, Ghetto Music. Like he was in a nice space and he did a masterful job, but the album does feel like he was just recording music, hoping Dre would come rap on some of the stuff, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
And also, too, The Love Below is great, but the glow of The Love Below has waned over time. Like when The Love Below came out, people were treating it comparable to like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, Mary J. Blige's My Life, Jodeci's first couple of albums. It hasn't proven to be that over the course of time. And so what I think you have is a really great album on the Andre side and a really good album on the Big Boy side, but neither one of the albums classic.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hey Ya was such a massive song that it made that double album much bigger than what it really was.
Correct.
I think in real time, it was huge. Pause. It was big. I was stationed in Savannah, Georgia when that was going on. It was like bigger than life at that time. And Hey Ya was such a massive hit that it crossed over, not just in hip hop, it crossed over into everything. It crossed over into every genre. So it changed. It changed the trajectory of that album.
But here's what I tell you. I mean, this is just for us down here.
Yeah.
Most of us love She Lives in My Lap and Prototype way more than we love Hey Ya down here. Don't nobody play Hey Ya down here. We play She Lives in My Lap.
Yeah, Prototype is the one.
Prototype and She Lives in My Lap are the ones.
Okay.
Right.
I just wanted to throw that out there, but
somebody's asking where Gucci is at. First of all, for me, okay, so here's my problem even with this conversation that we're having. Jeezy's best albums to me are Trap or Die 1 and Trap or Die 2. But those are mixtapes.
Right.
Gucci's best stuff
mostly
is the same way. And so if we're talking album talk, we got to keep it the album talk. And Gucci's really supreme stuff was the mixtape stuff. But I would put The State versus Roderick Davis right outside the top 10, though.
I was just about to ask you that. Like, where would you put? I think that's on the outside.
Probably 11 or 12. 11 or 12.
It's in the 12 ballpark for me. But we got 8, 9, and 10 locked down. But the other 7 spots are filled.
No,
but
Kings of Crunk.
Remember, we got Kings of Crunk at 7.
Kings of Crunk is 8. Kings of Crunk is 8.
Not Kings of 7. T.I. King is 8.
Yeah,
you got Kings of Crunk over King.
Because if we're talking about importance mixed with quality, then yes,
I can see that.
Yeah.
So so T.I. King is 8. Kings of Crunk is 7. We got 6 more albums. It's just the order that's not figured out yet.
So I will tell you, if we're cross breeding like we should, then we're gonna have to put trap music at 6.
I don't put the top 5 because Thug Motivation 101 does supersede trap music, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, so y'all
yes, but hold on. But part of why trap music, part of why TM 101 supersedes trap music is because trap music got made the year before, not the year after. Because if it would have worked in reverse, we'd be doing this in reverse in terms of the ranking. So trap music has a lot to do with the fact that you know what I'm saying? With Tip opened up that floodgate for
paved that road.
Yeah, he paved that road.
For sure.
And Jeezy's the main benefactor of the road that T.I. paved.
Okay.
So that would be TM 101 would be the 5th spot unless one of those OutKast albums is going to go there.
Nah. TM 101 isn't better than any of those 3 OutKast albums.
No.
I agree.
No, I agree with that.
I'll tell you that
I hate to say it, but my favorite OutKast album probably gonna go at number 4.
What's that?
AT-Aliens. That's my favorite. But if we're doing
but here's what you have to understand. See, we're not talking quality, we're talking quality and pivotal impact.
Right.
And so if we're talking quality and pivotal impact,
but that's what got them respected up top.
That's why Southern Playalistic would go behind.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So because Southern Playalistic didn't really have the impact on the other regions.
Right, but it had the impact in the backyard. Yeah. So
AT-Aliens would be ahead of Southern Playalistic. So AT-Aliens would be ahead of Southern Playalistic in this conversation because the album quality is supremely comparable.
Right.
But but how about this? Niggas in New York and Cali was going me and you, yo mama and your cousin too.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
And so Southern Playalistic would actually be number 4.
Yeah. So that's what got number 4. And you know, as far as quoting that hook, Cell Therapy had the same effect. You know what I mean? It's up there. You know, with Elevators, the Cell Therapy had the same effect.
So I'm actually going to tell you something. I've always liked soul food more than ATLiens. And I'm going to tell you why.
The first two spots is between Aquemini and Soul Food.
Right. Because here's the thing. Here's why Soul Food's ahead of ATLiens. Go look at Andre and Big Boy's performances on Soul Food. Then go look at Goody Mobb's performances on ATLiens.
Okay.
See the difference?
Yeah.
That's the difference in the albums. Is literally what Goody Mobb bought to ATLiens was really good. The verse Big Boy and Andre did on fucking Dirty South and fucking Thought Process, that's fucking epic.
Because I'm be honest, man, I would have Dirty South and Cell Therapy over that though. Personally. Just from how it reached to me.
Yeah.
Cell Therapy and
like Goody Mobb's Soul Food.
Yeah.
But does it leapfrog Aquemini though? That's the $1 million question.
No,
it's not strong. What Jada can say is good, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
So here are my thoughts about Aquemini, and I've always told people this. It's the most complete rap album I've ever heard. Like
Aquemini?
Yes. Like, how about this? The difference between Aquemini and something like the Purple Tape is that the Purple Tape doesn't have a liberation. It doesn't have a Spody Odie. They incorporated the ancillary parts of hip hop while still keeping it hip hop. There's a Skew It on the Barb and a West Savannah, but there's a Spody Odie and a Liberation, but there's a Chunky Fire, but there's a return. There's literally it's hip, maybe not most complete album, most eclectic. Most eclectically accomplished hip hop album we've ever heard, because there's something for everybody on there. The art of storytelling. Mama,
the word
scared.
When you use the word complete, like for me, that's how I feel about Life After Death. So I'm comparing it to that.
Life After Death got skips.
He got some skips, bro.
Aquemini ain't got no skips.
Yeah,
but there's something can be complete with you. Just, I mean, that's another conversation. Album can have skips and still be complete and have something for everybody.
Okay, so
it's nothing that Life After Death lacks in any department.
It's a whole different part.
Actually, you want to know what, Adriel? I'm gonna tell you what, and this was actually going to be a Coop's Corner down the line, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now. Go listen to 97 Hove and go listen to 97 Big. Big's edge isn't all the way there. You can tell he's out of the street. He's hiding it and crafting it well with the storytelling and the content and the themes behind the songs, but he don't have a Where I'm From on fucking Life After Death.
I want you to table that, Coop, because I want you to keep that same energy later when we do what we're gonna do. I want you to keep that same energy.
That's fine. We got to get to the let's get through this one so we can get through the other one.
All right. So the list is complete. We got number one, Aquemini. Number two.
What's number three?
Number two, Soul Food. 3, ATLiens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4, Southernplayalistic.
Yeah.
Number 5, Thug Motivation 101.
Yeah.
Number 6, Trap Music.
Right.
Number 7, Kings of Crunk.
Yep.
Number 8, King.
Yep.
Number 9, Dirty Sprite 2.
Yep.
And number 10, Back for the First Time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a solid list.
Again? What's number 1 again?
And I would put Gucci, State of Roderick Davis, and Goody Mobb Still Standing as like my 11 and 12.
Those are good honorable mentions. So that's the official Hip Hop Talks list for the top 10 most quality yet impactful albums coming out of ATL.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So
I like that list. And everybody got their appropriate representation. And I didn't want to leave Lil Jon out. People don't understand how important Lil Jon is to this city.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He doesn't get enough credit. He doesn't get enough credit. He does.
And we'll get this list out to everybody. We'll actually put the list together on Apple and Spotify.
How about this? The gap between the Dungeon family and T.I. and Jeezy's comeuppance, that's Lil Jon's time. And he ran this fucking city during that time.
Yeah.
And if a record banged in the club, it's about a 5 out of 10 chance that he actually was behind it, on it, had something to do with it, or fucking spun the record his fucking self.
Absolutely.
You mentioned Apple and Spotify, Sean. Real quick before we go to the next segment, you want to tell them about the mixtape?
Yes. So for tonight's show, hold up. I want to.
We can hold that.
Don't take breathe. Don't bite my shit. Yeah. We'll hold tight. All right. After the show, we'll let them know what that's going to be. But before we go into the final segment, do you want to talk about the giveaway, the vinyl giveaway?
Oh yeah, real quick. I posted something on Twitter last week. Follow me on Twitter at Adriel Green. We're doing a vinyl giveaway. It was Record Store Day. I was able to pick up an extra copy of this Nas Remixes and Rarities album. I don't know if you can see the whole thing in the picture, but it just got exclusive remixes and unreleased tracks that didn't make Illmatic. And they've never been released before on vinyl. So it's exclusive release, limited to a certain number. And what we're doing is we're trying to get our subs up on YouTube. You know, we're approaching 1,000 subs. So hit that subscription, turn on the notifications, and we're trying to get our subs up over on Station Head too. So if you haven't yet, we do content over there. Download the Station Head app, and it's free. And you link your DSP subscription, whether it be Spotify Premium or Apple, to it. And we have listening parties. We have, new music drops over there. We do versus battles. We do a whole lot of content over there. So we're trying to get those subs up to 450, and we're right at 400 right now. So in order to enter the drawing for the Nas vinyl, all you have to do is look at my Twitter page. It's pinned at the top. Click on that, follow that thread, and then tag everybody, quote tweet, the original tweet, and tag everybody that you know that is a hip hop head that maybe want to come rock with us. And once we reach our goals for subscriptions on YouTube, which would be 1,000, and Station Head, which would be 450, whoever tagged the most people in their Twitter post, that's who the vinyl will go to. So, get out there, help support the channel, and tag as many people as you can to come rock with us.
Hey, I just want to say something. I want to thank all the people for supporting us so fast and so quick. Nice. We are almost at 1,000 subs in under 30 days. Yeah. We have done we've done 3.5 shows. That's an eighth. We done did an eighth worth of shows. We ain't even moved no real weight yet.
That's a fact.
And shout out to the views.
That's just a couple of blunts we done.
Facts.
Them a couple of roll ups in the cigar bar. The 3.5.
That's it.
3.5. Look here. When a 3.5 can make you a G, now you hustling.
No doubt. Like Nas said, we got the real checking in, because although we haven't hit a 1K mark, and we've been going this for 3 weeks now, and we haven't hit 1K just yet. But the views, we right now at 11,000 views in 3.5 shows. So the real is there. We just need y'all to subscribe.
And make sure y'all hit that like button too.
Yeah, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. Even if you don't want to subscribe, hit the like button and run our likes up. But here's the thing about it too. This is what I tell people is numbers don't lie, but they don't tell you everything either. Because we out here doing 2,000-3,000 views with 930 subscribers, and we just got the 900 in the past day.
Yeah.
So that means we're impacting the culture already. That means we're doing the right thing. So keep on supporting us, showing us love.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting our partners out there, Spotify, Apple.
Yeah, that's not counting the downloads. That's not even counting the downloads.
Are going crazy right now. Shout out to Denver, Mile High Radio for playing us right now. I'm getting the emails from them. They're loving it right now. They're loving
It's different in Denver, because it's different in Denver, Sean. You can get off work and fucking smoke in your car and listen to us. It's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different vibration. Even Cali, shout out to San Diego. I'm getting messages from over there as well. We're getting downloads from San Diego right now. So we see the algorithm. We appreciate the love.
Shout out to my San Diego people. Shout out to 78 Oceanside, where the military at. El Camino del Norte off the 15, La Mesa Beach, Gas Lamp. I know all about that.
Gas Lamp.
Gas Lamp.
Beautiful.
Look,
place.
I used to kick it with the USC football players down there when I lived out there. This is like when Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart was there. They used to be down there on the weekends. I used to see them niggas.
No doubt, no doubt. And shout out to the chat, man. The chat showing love. The last like 3.5 episodes we had, the chat is in there chatting it out. So we appreciate the love. You know,
sure. The chat gonna love this next segment for real.
Absolutely,
they are.
Elwood Thompson said he's in San Diego. Mira Mesa, shout out to Mira Mesa. I went to the Marine Corps recruiting school out there.
Yeah, Mira Mesa. Yeah, what up?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I think my favorite hibachi spot was down there in Mira Mesa, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, they got it all down there. I love the Mexican food down there. I ain't go front. It's
banging. Food down there is banging. The street tacos down there. The street tacos down there. Oh shit!
Outstanding. Shout out to Tijuana, TJ. Yo, so let's get into the final segment. This is the fun one. You know, we are going up against the NFL draft tonight and NBA games tonight as well. Yeah, we got New Orleans in the house. Shout out to New Orleans. I'll be in New Orleans next week. Juvie Tuesdays got the invite. We're trying to do something with Juvie. So yeah, that's more to come on that. But shout out to New Orleans. Got a lot of love in New Orleans. We're going up against the draft tonight, fellas. And again, thank you to the chat for taking out time to even rock with us tonight. With the NFL draft is going on, NBA is going on. We appreciate the love.
We doing numbers. We doing numbers while the draft and the playoffs is on.
That's a fact.
That's love.
That's love. Love.
That's love.
That. We appreciate that. So we're gonna do a little draft for y'all. Yep. AG, you gonna explain it to us?
Yeah, we doing a rapper draft tonight, but with a little twist, a little caveat, you know, because we're piggybacking off the draft. So when a player decides to take his talents to the pros, when you leave the college leagues, you feel like you're at the peak of your powers, whether if you're a freshman or a sophomore coming into the draft or upperclassman. So at that point, you're at the peak of your powers and you feel like you can do it on the next level. You know, if we consider players' total legacies and look back on them retrospectively, you might say he wasn't a lottery pick. He wasn't a first rounder. He ended up being more of a second round draft pick. You know, it might have been a bust or what have you. So the rapper draft that we're doing tonight is not based off of entire legacies when we say we pick a certain rapper. Just like Benny did with 97 Hove, his favorite version of Jay, you know, we're going to pick rappers from whatever era that we see fit that we personally think is the peak of their powers. So once that rapper is picked, whatever version is picked, then that rapper is off the board. And we're going to, you know, in football, we're going against the NFL draft. It's 11 players on either side of the ball on the field. So we're going to do 11 picks today. And then we're going to decide, we're going to post our teams, you know, our stable of rappers on Twitter and let the fans decide who has the best stable of rappers.
Oh, no, AG, I don't mean to cut you off. Oh, we posting this everywhere, fam. It's going on Facebook,
everywhere.
Oh, yeah, everywhere.
YouTube,
everywhere.
Yeah, so y'all can get embarrassed more, for sure. So,
wow. Is that what we doing?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, the determination of the order to pick was already, you know, done offline. Shout out to the homie Stacks, you know, pick the names out of the hat. You know, Sean got the first pick. I got the second pick. Coop got the third pick. That's the order we're going to stay in for the entirety of the draft. And, gentlemen, let's get it. Let's see, you know what I'm saying? What
we already know. We already know who Sean's taking. I'm going to go ahead and cross his name off the board.
You know what that is. You know, 96 Nas. Queens get the money. So that's what I'm going with. No one is beating 96 Nas. Coming off of Illmatic, 95 feature run into It Was Written. Y'all do what y'all want to do with that. But that's the big joker, little joker, deuce, spade, everything. That's all of that. You know what I mean? So I got 96 Nas.
That's
good
cute.
Luck, fellas.
I mean, we I'm about to say the three of us don't agree about a lot of stuff, but we do agree about the fact that all three of us think 96 Nas is the best rapper we ever heard, right?
That's right.
I'm a little salty that Stacks cheated for you to get that pick. But anyway.
I feel like both of y'all cheated because I was the last one to come to the pregame. I'm like, you want to know what? I think these niggas went in order who pulled up. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So, you know, Coop, I'm going to go with, you know, per our conversation earlier, I'm going to go with 97 Big because I personally think other than 96 Nas, 97 Big is the second greatest version of a rapper ever to grace this earth. So that would be my pick.
So I'll tell you something. The first two names on this list boxed off are actually 96 Nas and 97 Big, because I knew you niggas was gonna do that. All right. I already knew that was happening. I already knew that was happening.
97 Hove over Nas. Not at all.
Okay. First of all, this no disrespect, but that's wild.
So where are you going? Oh, time out real quick. Those picks went kind of fast. We are on a draft clock. I'm watching the time. Each person has.
I like how you like to bring up the draft clock when it's my turn.
Yeah, 60 seconds. 60 seconds max to get your pick off. 60 seconds max. Let's go.
See, first of all, I already know both of y'all well enough to know what you was going to do. So I wasn't having any plans on taking 96 Nas or 97 Big. The conversation between the three greatest rappers of all time, in my opinion, are 96 Nas, 97 Big, and 1990 Rakim. And so I'm taking 1990 Rakim. And I want people to understand why I'm taking 1990 Rakim. 1990 Rakim is Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em Rakim.
That's a surprise pick.
Nope. Paid in Full and Follow the Leader got Eric B tracks. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, first of all, 5 mics in the source, and the inspiration along with Cool G Rap's Wanted Dead or Alive for Illmatic. Those were the two albums Nas was actually listening to when making Illmatic. The New York State of Mind comes from Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, the record Mahogany. And if you actually want to go to Rakim's best mic performance from beginning to end, not most impactful, not most important, not best records, but if we talking about him on the mic, the 1990 version of him is the version that you should be afraid of. That's the dude that does Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em and Mahogany seamlessly.
Yeah. I mean, Know the Ledge is my favorite Rakim song. So
no doubt.
Yeah. So give me 1990 Rakim.
I ain't mad at that pick. I mean, I just wanted you to justify why you picked that over 87 Rakim, but you did a good job.
Because 87 Rakim is more impactful about his ability to MC above his peers. The guy 3 years later is still MCing above his peers and doing it for 13 records as opposed to 5 or 6 or 7.
No doubt.
The lyrical performance, go listen to Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. The lyrical performance of 1990 Rakim is actually his best mic performance. Not his best songs. His best songs are on Paid in Full and Follow the Leader, but his best mic performance is on Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. So there is some It Was Written. How about this? Lyrically, for me, the only thing close to It Was Written is actually Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em.
Yeah. That's when he knew he had powers. That's when he knew his powers.
That's when he put like the 5th Infinity Stone in and started blowing niggas up, like on Contact. No Omega. You remember No Omega?
Yep.
No, that guy. That guy a problem.
Yep.
Right. So
Sean, you on the clock.
I don't need a clock. Give me 01J. 2001 J. When you got 2001 J, you got J at his super peak powers.
Right.
You had Reasonable Doubt, In My Lifetime. You had Volume 2. You have Volume 3, and then you have the home run, bring everything in home with our Blueprint. So 01 J is at the peak of his power. Nobody was touching J at this time until Ether tapped him. Pause. But before then, bringing Michael Jackson on stage, had everything from commercial, still the sharpness in his lyrics, taking out Prodigy at a time, and Prodigy was really the man that we talked about. God bless his soul. But 01 J was strong. You can't take that away from him. So I got 01 J.
01 J would have been my pick even over 97 Hove. So
not me. Still taking 97 Hove, but go ahead.
I thought that's what you were going to do with your first pick, Coop. But yeah, that's a good pickup, Sean. So I'm gonna go 96 Pac.
Shit.
You just fucked my life up, and I don't like you no more.
You did. I gambled with Jay, and this is why. All right.
Okay.
Do I really need to explain anything, or just can we proceed?
No, you don't. No, you don't. Just say less. Just say less. Don't talk no more, AG.
All right.
Because because I was ready for the Nas and Big and Jay thing to happen. I thought I had a chance to get 96 Pac. That's the guy that I wanted. So I'm not even on front.
So who you got, Coop?
Give me 98 DMX.
That's a hell of a pick. That is a hell of a pick.
Yeah, give me 98 DMX, because 98 DMX is better than 98 J and 98 Nas.
Facts.
And it's the only time that you saw a rapper go multi twice in 1 year. twice in 1 year. He moving 4 on another and 3 on another. You want to talk about moving weight, moving numbers? You want to talk about impact? You want to talk about like he literally ended the last happy ass era we seen before these happy ass niggas started popping up after Kanye. Like he ended all of that with a record. It took one record with him with his shirt off and black and white at the tunnel. Get at me, dog. Changed the rap game. I tell people it is the boldest first single in the history of rap. He is one of the greatest MCs and storytellers of all time. He's one of the greatest stage performers of all time. He's a game changer. He's a genre changer. He's an all-time great MC. He may not be quite in that big J, Nas, Pac stratosphere in terms of where he's ranked, but he ain't too far.
Nah, he's close.
And his moment is about as big as any moment that anybody's ever had. So give me 98X.
Yeah, that's a hell of a pick, Coop. Hell of a pick.
Really good pick. Really good pick.
You up, Sean?
I'm sorry, guys. I got to go 96 Prodigy.
I knew that was happening too.
I knew you was going there.
96 Prodigy was probably, look, if you were to say Nas was number 1A and Prodigy was 1B, I wouldn't argue with you at all. 96 Prodigy was blazing everything. He was a standout. He was the one. The unorthodox style over havoc beats, but just anthems. Everything that he was doing, everything he was touching was on point.
Well, he was blistering. He was blistering the mic up that year.
Everything. Shout out to my man Trife, because Trife is my inspiration behind picking Prodigy 96.
Shout out to Trife. Trife Boogie.
P was crazy. No, P was crazy.
Yeah.
Nighttime Vultures is probably my favorite Prodigy verse.
My goodness. Apostles Warning.
Yeah, P was like that. P was like that.
Hell on Earth, God Part 3. We can just run down the line. He's just on there going crazy.
Yeah. Sean got a hell of a squad. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the clock next, and my next pick is just to piss him off. I'm going 2000 Ghosts.
God damn, you still on there. You know how I feel about Ghosts. Yo.
So
Ghost is my second favorite rapper of all time. It's Nas and then it's Ghost.
We don't care. Okay. He ain't on your team.
So I can see how y'all moving. So I'm gonna have to like scope this out, and I'm gonna have to give people. See, I already knew when I was picking third, I was like, well, I got to give the most well-rounded lineup.
You do.
And so give me 0350.
Ooh.
I like that. To have cool. To have 50, 0350, and 98X on your squad, that's crazy.
With Rakim,
sir.
With Rakim, sir.
I'm not going
with Rakim, sir. Give me 0350. Here's what people don't realize.
I gotta give you that. Yeah.
50's the best hook writer in rap's history.
Damn good one, Cool.
Yeah.
I know you don't love me because you're not the same whenever Jay's in town. I know you don't love me.
Yo, this is a slugfest so far. I don't think no team like out front crazy.
Some sneaky ones out there. Coop got some sneaky ones, but I got the Infinity Stone, so I'm about to go ahead and do the Soul Stone for y'all real quick.
I already know where you're going.
I'm going 95 Ray.
Yep, I knew you were doing that. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what. I had to pick in my mind. I was about to pick 95 Ray, but I couldn't risk because I'm picking third. One of y'all snagging 50 before I did for 0350. Yeah, I couldn't risk that.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
I guess I'm on the clock. I'm gonna go with 96 Lauren.
Oh, that's a sneaky one.
That's a sneaky pick.
A sneaky pick.
Bougie, the score, Lauren.
No. I hear you.
No, that's a good one.
So I'm about to hit you with some shit that's gonna light your life up. I'm going 91 Ice Cube.
Oh,
I love it, Coop. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me 91 Ice Cube since y'all want to play like this.
Okay. Since you want to play around, give me 93 Snoop. Nobody touches 93 Snoop. Doggy style.
That was my sneaky pick. Yeah. I was hoping you East Coast niggas wasn't gonna do that.
All right.
93 Snoop.
Yo, this one, you know what I'm saying? Since Coop did this to me with 91 Q and pissed me off with that one because that would have been my next pick. I'm going 94 Scarface.
Ah, shoot. Okay.
You took my pick. I want to trade.
Hey, trades will be open at the end of the draft.
Hey,
trades
AG.
open.
Hey, AG, and I picked 94 Scarface too. 94 Scarface is the one, my Scarface that's on my board.
Absolutely. Hey, trades are open when we get all our picks before we finalize it. Trades are open.
94 face is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. 94 face is crazy. That kind of got me.
Since you wanna play those type of games, give me 89 Slick Rick.
Okay.
I'm taking 89 Slick Rick on you, ass.
Killing me right now.
All right, it's back to you, Sean.
I got 60
Gentlemen,
seconds,
we're
right?
almost halfway done. We're on pick 6.
I got 60 seconds, right?
Yep.
Shit. Give me 99 Ja Rule. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yo,
bro.
That was wild. Yo, AG, we should treat it like spades and be like, nah, spades stick.
You gotta play that. You gotta play that.
You gotta play that spade. You put that on the table.
Yo, I'm just kidding. Yo, but nah, give me 98 pun. 98 pun was special.
He was.
He is. I agree.
I see your 98 pun and raise you with 98 cannabis.
I messed up. All right. 98 cannabis?
98 cannabis. And remember, people out there, we just talking about in a vacuum that particular year.
Right. And that's why I'm about to fuck both of y'all life up and take 88 Kane.
Damn. You messed me up.
That's a hell of a pick.
Taking 88 Kane. Ain't no half-stepping Kane. Raw Kane. Yeah. 88 Kane.
88 Kane?
Yeah. 88 Kane.
Okay. It's back to you, Sean.
Okay. We just talked about it and nobody thought about it, but give me 96 stacks.
That's a hell of a pick. I
got that on the board, so
I should have had him. I should have had him on my team with Lauren. That'd have been crazy.
Smoking y'all.
All right. I'm gonna take give me 96 Redman.
Damn.
That was on my board too. So since y'all want to play these games, I'm really mad. I'm really mad at the last two picks because those were two picks I was thinking that was gonna float.
Andre and Redman.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna float a little further.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Since you want to play those games, give me 87 KRS.
Shit.
That's criminal minded. That's criminal minded KRS for the kids. For the kids, that's criminal minded KRS. My 9mm goes bang.
Coop is keeping it OG. Like I like it.
He really is. Where you going with Coop?
87 KRS.
Okay. Man, give me
also too, hold on, real quick. Part of my logic and my science was too is that I didn't want to pick the same guy from the same year. That's why I have 90 Rakim, but I got 88 Kane, but I got 87 KRS, but I got 89 Slick Rick.
Yeah. Yo, somebody put a 23 Yachty.
Yo, that's crazy.
First of all, they're gonna be the first person to get deleted out the chat.
Yo, that is crazy.
Oh,
first person to get deleted out the chat.
Yo, that is crazy. I was about to say give me 99 on Bobby Digital, but you
don't want that 97 Capadonna? Take that 97 Kappa.
Don't get me started on Kappa. Yo, that's my Capadonna.
Kappa's my guy, man.
Wardrobe. He influenced my entire wardrobe. Give me 89 Cool G Rap.
Damn,
that's a hell of a pick.
Damn you.
Yeah, Corona Queens, man.
I don't need a whole lot of time.
Right, you going Corona, right?
Yeah, you better represent with the Queens picks because you can't go back there if you don't. You got P, Nas, and G Rap.
I don't appreciate that at all.
Yo, give me. I can't believe it's still on the board, but give me 97 Method Man, the guy from Wu-Tang Forever.
Okay. So I'll tell you what. I actually had 95 Meth on my board. But I'll take 97 Meth too. That was a good pick.
That's
okay.
A good one.
It's on you, Coop.
I know. So my man kind of already put it in the chat, and I was just gonna see if any of y'all was gonna jump, but I'm gonna take 05 Wayne. Ooh. That's Carter 2 Wayne.
That's 05. That gives more balance to your list, Coop, because you got the, you know what I'm saying, the OGs. Wayne gives
like
you more
that.
balance.
I like that.
Yeah, I had to get current on these niggas.
Yep.
I like that pick. I like that pick. I'll raise you though. So I'll go. Give me 01 Jada.
Nice pick.
Nice pick. I like the pick. I got a pick sitting on this board that I know y'all not gonna pick, but I'm gonna fuck your life up when I pick it.
Yo, give me Kendrick with the fade. Good Kid, Mad City, 2012. Kendrick.
Oh, that's nasty.
Fine.
Kendrick with the fade.
You can take that guy. I'm not taking any of these guys.
I'm
not taking niggas that don't come outside and battle. I don't care what year it is.
That's in 2024. We in 2012 right now, brother.
That's fine. You can subtract 12 and go back 12 years if you want to. He's not on my board.
Yeah,
He's not on my board.
It's on you.
I will not tolerate that type of behavior.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You want to know what? It's getting a little tight over here.
It's getting really tight. Pause.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Give me 99 Black Thought.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's a good one. That's a sneaky one.
Yep.
That's sneaky.
It's on you, Sean.
Damn. I can't even keep up.
It's hard. I want to let y'all know I broke my pen stabbing the paper. I was upset.
I saw someone put 02 Kiss. Kiss the Game Goodbye came out in 01.
Right. 01.
That's why I went to 01. Damn. I gotta go 87 LL.
That's a good one.
Queens again, man. LL was the biggest artist of hip hop at that time. How can we forget that?
Yeah.
Superstar.
I don't need much time. I'm going 05 Common.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Okay. I got 05 Common on my board.
Okay. I see what you did with that one. Okay.
I see what you did too. You're trying to see my Black Thought with your Common.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I don't appreciate it.
Hey, man.
That was a good one. That was a real good one. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Where we at? We on this is the 10th pick, right? This is the 10th pick?
You got your 10th pick. Yeah.
Since you want to go 05 Common, give me 05 Kanye.
I knew you was gonna do it. I knew you was gonna do that. I knew you was gonna do it.
Since you want to play those type of games.
Yeah, I think you dropped the ball though, Coop. I'll tell you why.
No, 05 Kanye is late registration Kanye. He's rapping his ass off.
That's my favorite Kanye album, but I'm tell you why you dropped the ball. It's really 2010 Kanye. Good Kid. Not Good Kid, but Good Fridays. Good Fridays in the Dark, Twisted Fantasy. That's a moment. That was on my board.
That was a moment.
2010 Kanye.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you how I think. When your moment is more revolved around your MCing on your mixtape than the MCing on your album, give me the album where you MC'd.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But I feel you on the on the Good Friday series. The Good Friday series is legendary.
All right, Sean, you up? This is your last pick, homie. Make it a good one.
That's my last pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Oh shoot!
I want to let you know my pen can't even write right now, so I'm just gonna have to.
I want to go with my gut, man. Pause. I'm gonna have to go with 05 Jeezy.
Okay.
All right.
I like that pick.
Damn.
I like that pick.
I'm gonna go.
That rounds out the roster because you already got the super lyricist at the top.
Yes.
Yeah, rounds out the roster.
I'm going to tell you where I was thinking about going, but where I'm gonna go.
Damn,
I was thinking about going with 23 Cole because he was obliterating everything, but
I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that.
I'm just still hurt from the apology. I just am, so I'm not going there. But what I will do is go 05 Game.
Damn. I was going back and forth, man.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm about to do. That's about to fuck y'all life up. This is my sleeper pick, and I knew it was gonna make it to the end. First of all, I don't appreciate you niggas taking all my Wu-Tang niggas off the board. I don't appreciate you niggas at all for doing that. Since you want to play those games, give me 1995 Jizza. Liquid
I
Sword.
like it. I like that pick.
Yeah, give me 95 Jizza. Liquid Swords Jizza. Yeah, give me 95 Jizza. 95 Jizza is rapping at a Rakim Nas level.
Nah, you're right.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Give me 95 Jizzle.
I probably should have took the 95 Inspector Deck Flood.
First of all,
the deck.
which one of you niggas took 95 Raekwon from me?
That would be Sean.
Okay, first of all, I'm never forgiving you for that. All right, like, ever.
Yo, I had to round it out. I had to round it out.
Like a year from now, when we recall the draft, and be like, yeah, that's the nigga that took 95 Raekwon from me. Never letting that go.
Yo, I had.
Then you take 2000 Ghostface AG. You took 2000 Ghostface and 97 Meth, and you took 95 Ray.
Yeah,
we're done.
AG made it personal. AG made it personal.
It's personal. You took because I'm gonna tell you what, I had 95 Ray and 2000 Ghosts lined up on my board. I was like, I'm gonna get one of the two.
So let's do a rundown recap, you know, for everybody in the chat. Sean with the first pick had 96 Nas, 01 J, 96 Prodigy, 95 Raekwon, 93 Snoop, hell of a pick, 98 Pun, 96 Three Stacks, 89 Cool G Rap, 01 Jadakiss, I'm mad at that one, 87 LL, and 05 Jeezy. Myself with the second pick, I have 97 Big, 96 Pac, 2000 Ghost, 96 Lauren, 94 Scarface. Hold on, I gotta back up. Lauren is the only female MC to make anybody's list. I will say that. So I will appreciate. No, we don't care what you was gonna do, Coop. So I will appreciate all the females' votes. You know what I'm saying? When y'all vote for this on socials.
Hold on.
I'm the only one that picked the female MC.
I had 96 Kim on the board.
Okay, but you didn't pick her. You had a chance. So females, I appreciate y'all's votes. Okay, so I had 94.
Don't vote for this nigga.
I had 94 Scarface, 98 Cannabis, 96 Redman, 97 Method Man, 2012 Kendrick, 05 Common, and 05 Game. Coop with the third pick, he had 90 Rakim, 98 DMX, 03 50 Cent, 91 Ice Cube, 89 Slick Rick, 88 Big Daddy Kane, 87 KRS-One, 05 Lil Wayne, 99 Black Thought, 05 Kanye, and 95 GZA. So that's our teams for now, but the trades are now open if anybody wants to propose a trade.
I want Raekwon.
Can't give you Raekwon. I'm sorry. I can't. I
want Ray. I need Ray on my team. I want Ray or I want Scarface. I want my guys. I need one of my guys on my team. What I need?
Coop, I would be willing to give you 94 Scarface for 91 Cube. That's my trade-off.
I'm not doing that because 91 Cube is actually better than 94 Scarface. I'm just partial to Scarface. Well, 91 Ice Cube is Death Certificate. So here's how I feel. I personally like The Diary more than Death Certificate, but Death Certificate's the better album. And where Ice Cube is in 91 has an MC, I don't feel like Scarface is like that until about 97, 98 on some MC shit.
Okay. Well, that was the offer. So I'll move on to the other team. Hey, Sean.
I respectfully decline that offer. I would decline that offer.
Sean, you got 01 J, and I got 96 Pac, but you also got Nas, and I also got Big. I'll offer you 96 Pac for 01 J just for chemistry's sake.
What?
Nah, I'm not doing
smoking?
That. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Just propose the trades.
The 96 Pac and the 95 Ray thing, I just want to let you know that hurt. That hurt. I wasn't expecting you East Coast. I'm gonna tell you what, Sean. I wasn't expecting you East Coast niggas to pick the Pac or the Snoop because I was like, I know I'm getting Pac and Snoop on mine. It's like I know I'm getting Pac and Snoop.
That Snoop was a hell of a pick, and I'm mad that Jadakiss slipped past me too. Because I was
the Snoop is a potential scale tilter because you got your Nas and Prodigy at the top, so you got your bar work. You got your all-time great peak with Jay. So sprinkling in a little 93 Snoop.
Put some Snoopy in there. I mean, you covering every ground. I'm thinking about dropping Jeezy and going it back into the pool, though. I'm be honest.
No.
Nigga, you making new rules. Like, ain't nobody saying you can like drop
Jeezy. I can't drop Jeezy. I can't go into free agency. I can't go back into the pool.
No. He has, look. If you want some of these dudes on the board, you have to go. They gonna have to go try out for the team and make the team now.
Yo, that's crazy.
Nah, you got what you got, bro.
So can I tell you some of the people that I still had on the board?
Go ahead.
Who was that?
I had 04 Beanie Siegel on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had 88 Chuck D on the board.
Yeah.
2006 T.I.
That's for me it'd be 05 T.I.
My sneaky pick was actually 1982 Melly Mel because he was so far ahead of the curve.
Now you going crazy, cool. Like that's taking it too far back.
Yeah.
He was ahead of the curve though. Nobody rapped nobody rapped at his level to Rakim came though.
I mean that's true, but you try to get everybody over 50 to vote for you, bro. That's nasty work.
Pandering again.
First of all, the way you niggas was working, I was like, I gotta work these demographics. Y'all the one that made me get in the old school pool. I was like, oh, y'all want to take Nas, Big, and Pac from me? It's like that's cool. I'll take KRS and Kane and Rakim. It's fine with me.
Which I'll remind people that I did pick Lauren with my 4th pick. I didn't wait till my 10th pick to pick Lauren. I picked her with my 4th pick. So ladies, I mean,
don't do that lady shit. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Come on, man.
Don't do that.
I'll be honest. I didn't have a list. I came from my heart. I didn't want to.
Nigga over here politicking. Do you understand your man is over here politicking for female votes, Sean?
Let's get that politic, ditto.
No, I didn't want. I just want to come from the heart. I want to come from how I felt at the moment. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm having some reservations about Jeezy because I dropped. I'm thinking about 95 AZ. I'm thinking about
I thought about
Styles P. You know what I'm saying?
I thought about 95A. 95A was on my mind. Here's why I picked 95 Jizz over 95A. Liquid Swords is supreme to do or die. Like to me, the only solo Wu-Tang rap albums of me better than Liquid Swords is Only Built for Cuban Links. Because I have it at a tie with Supreme for that second slot. And so it's like that. So when y'all took 95 Ray and 2000 Ghost, I was like, well, I got one more option left in my Wu-Tang chamber. I got one Wu-Tang chamber left.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm mad that I didn't pick 95 AZ, but those 11 picks came quick. You know what I mean? It
happens fast. Yeah. I thought I was about to take 88 Chuck, but y'all forced me into the Rakim Kane KRS thing. I would like to let all the niggas over 45 know I have Rakim, KRS, and Kane on my list. Since AG's over here fucking politicking to the women, like to let all you OGs know, like to let the OGs know. Right. And I got 89 Slick Rick. I like to let the OGs know. It's like I was looking out for your OG niggas. Got KRS.
You selling a lot of records.
Got KRS. You come roll with a real head if you want to. Niggas is over here picking Jeezy and Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill ain't even made a solo rap album.
Facts.
But we ain't worried about that. We're talking about Lauren from '96 who had the score out. That's the only Lauren we talk about. Don't let Coop change the rules for y'all.
Y'all niggas ain't scoring no points with the OGs. I was about to take 88 Chuck D on y'all.
Yo,
I was like, that's one too many. I was like, that's one too many old niggas.
Coop is selling a lot of records. He got 98 DMX and 03 50 Cent. He's selling a lot of records. And to be honest, Sean got the GOAT and Nas. And he got the second greatest of all time with Jay. So I ain't mad at that. But my list is the most complete, if we're being real.
No, it's not. Just because you picked a woman doesn't make your list complete.
It doesn't. It's not even close. Yeah.
It's not even conversational.
I think you got desperate. You know,
first of all, I got Thought and Jizza on my list though. So I got the respected lyricists too. Yeah, and I got the OGs. And I got the OGs. That is not the same person. Black Thought ain't made no fucking Liquid Swords.
Yo, AG dirty, man.
I'll be disrespectful to love.
But here's what I got. I got the best hook writer ever in 50. I got arguably the two best stage performers ever in DMX and KRS. I got the best lyricists arguably from their eras in Kane and Rakim. Since y'all took the best lyricists from the era that came after, I got the best storyteller from his era in Slick Rick. I pieced it together. I got Kanye.
You well-rounded. You're well-rounded.
You know why I really don't like you niggas? You niggas forced me into picking Kanye. That's how dirty this is. I felt forced to pick Kanye West.
And you picked the wrong Kanye at that. That's what's crazy.
No. 05 Kanye is the best Kanye.
05 Kanye was special.
That's Kanye that everybody still loves. Everybody don't like 10 Kanye.
Right.
Yeah.
That's 05 Kanye was special. AG out
But
here trying
to be honest, at his rapping zenith, I think for me, Dark Fantasy was where it all came together as far as the production and the rapping, like his zenith. But just as far as like as an MC, which I don't know if he had what writers or whatever, but him as an MC on Graduation, just as an MC was the best. But Late Registration is my favorite.
So Late Registration is the balance between. How about this? On My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I feel like people stole the show from him, but that's because he set them up to steal the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like on Graduation, it is his solo mission. I feel Late Registration is the best blend of the two, as in he's got the Nas and the J's and the Commons and the Game on the Hook and the Paul Walls, but it's blended better and he's still a standout MC. Yeah. So that's why I picked 05 Kanye. And plus I was being petty because you stole my 05 Common pick, which I thought none of you niggas was going to take from me.
Oh, so no, B is one of my favorite albums of all time, bro. That was that was on the board for me.
B is a borderline top 20 rap album all time to me. So
absolutely.
Like that and Supreme Clientele post 2000s, that's, you know, one of the best albums post 2000s. Blueprint, Stillmatic, B,
Supreme.
Yeah, those
Supreme.
Yeah, those are those ones.
Supreme is 2000. People forget Supreme Clientele is actually what set off the 2000s. Supreme's the first classic album of the 2000s.
Yeah,
it is. It set it off. Early
set off.
I ain't gonna lie. I had 2002 Cam on my board because, you know, just style wise. I mean,
respectfully, why?
I mean, style wise, Cam just, you know, he had the game on lock for a minute. We can't deny that.
You can't.
I feel like Dipset and Cam were more of a cultural movement than an MC and album movement.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Because SDE Cam to me was more lyrical.
That's the best Cam.
Yeah, SDE Cam was. That was. But a lot of people don't know that version of Cam though.
Here was always my thing about Cam. Why Jim Jones got the biggest single out the camp? That was my thing with Cam, because Ballin's the biggest single that ever came out of, and it was like Jim. I'm like, Jim's supposed to be Dame. You know what I'm saying? Like Dame ain't make no Ballin' when fucking Rockefeller was running.
And Jim was holding it down for a minute.
Yeah, Jim held it down.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Jim held it down. When Jewels was getting in trouble and him and Cam was starting to have their little thing, like
he was holding it down. That Game pick is a sneaky pick, because if people just separate Game from his antics, you cannot deny Game's 05 run.
Okay, so you can't deny the run, but what I would submit to you is that the guy who hops up on Doctor's Advocate, the 07, when is Doctor's Advocate? 07? That's the better 07. MC though.
You're right. I might have picked the wrong version.
Yes,
you're right.
His back was against the wall in Doctor's Advocate.
You're right. You're right.
He came firing on all cylinders. I think 05.
Can I change it?
No, absolutely not. Not after you just politicked with all the women on the podcast to get Lauryn Hill. We're not giving you shit.
You out here pandering, man. You out here acting like Bush.
Ladies. Hi, ladies. My name is AG. Come vote for me. I picked Lauryn.
Yo, that's why
I picked Lauryn. He out here trying to do the Trump thing, man. Like,
yo, and I'll make sure she on time. I'll make sure she on time for you.
Look. I'm gonna pull a Kanye West on AG right now. AG doesn't care about black women.
Yo, that's wild. Especially coming out of West Virginia. That's wild.
Yo, that's crazy.
Why you pick someone from West Virginia, man?
I mean, it was on my list. I was on my list as, you know, the sub in if somebody needed me. You know what I mean?
Hey, never forget, Sean. West Virginia gave us Randy Moss.
They did.
Hey, you see?
They did.
You see it?
Yeah,
they
gave us Randy Moss.
The alma mater right there.
That is crazy. Having a Marshall and a Raiders banner in the back is wild. And me from West Virginia.
Yo, I don't even know what we did in the draft tonight. My phone been blowing up, so I hope it was something good. Because we've been here with it.
Oh, you a Raiders fan?
Not for
Raiders, unfortunately so, yeah.
Okay, so AG, I'm going to go ahead and let you know how your draft went. Your team didn't do anything that they were supposed to do.
Have a good night. I wasn't expecting them to.
They never do.
Look here. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. We have the worst owner in professional sports and the worst football team to match the crappy ass owner. So I would take Can I trade my crappy owner for the? That's the trade. Will you take my crappy owner and I'll take your crappy owner? AG, that's a trade. Would you like my crappy owner?
It's a pretty fair trade. You know what? You know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm a Raiders fan, because geographically it don't make no sense, but 3 reasons. My uncle was a Raiders fan, so I got grandfathered into that. Bo Jackson and NWA. That's why I'm a Raiders fan.
Now AG has a consolation prize. You can have the owner's sorry ass wife too. You can take her with you. So it's a 2 for 1. You can take my owner's sorry ass wife too. Would you like to take? It's a whole combo. It's a whole combo.
Yeah. So are we doing any trades? Everybody good with the team they got? Nobody want to, you know what I'm saying?
If you're not giving me, if I can't, hold on. Is there anything I can do to get 96 Pac off you?
No.
Okay. I really don't want to talk to you all anymore then. That's where we are.
Yo, so we're gonna put this up with the voters poll.
Yep,
absolutely.
So we can see the percentages.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We can do that. I can create a flyer for it and put it out there. I already got it pretty much done. I just got to send it out to the people.
And don't be changing the stuff on there, Sean, for real.
Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Look at my team. Why would I do that? That is crazy.
Sean be like, hey, Coop, Sean be like, yo, that was a typo. My bad.
Look here. AG, that's that queen shit.
AG trying to manufacture votes, man. Trying to manufacture votes out here.
Yeah,
yo, he did. You wanna know what it is? It's like that nigga hopped on the campaign trail while we were still doing our speeches on stage. It's like, yo, did this nigga get in the car and start campaigning while we still doing the draft?
Yeah. You wanna know what's crazy? I had one on my board that didn't get picked up, but y'all might not have. But 2002 Eminem.
No,
crazy.
No, you didn't miss anything.
Y'all hating. All right,
we're not hating. We're not. Hold on. Let me ask you this.
Eminem show. Eminem. Come on now.
Hold on. 02 Eminem or 0350? Who you taking, AG?
0350.
Okay then.
I mean, as an MC, Eminem, but like we talking impact and overall 0350.
Not as an MC, because hooks are part of MC, and that's why I'm trying to tell you 50's hook, the best hook performance on one album in the history of rap is 50 on Get Rich or Die Trying. It is the best hook performance ever.
But the rapper that Eminem was in 02 with 8 Mile soundtrack and Eminem show, he was one of the ones. Don't do that.
Look here, playing Rabbit Run versus 50 will get your ass ran off the board. All right, you're gonna be running for real.
You got a point.
We'll see. But in 2000 Fab, that was another one.
I'm not playing those games. I can't do that.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Hey, Fab was a monster, man. Y'all sleeping.
I just can't. 04 Seagull's better than 04 Seagull's better than that.
No, not my bad. Not 2000, 2001 Fab. My fault.
Man, you can pick.
I would have picked that over Cannabis, 98 Cannabis.
Maybe.
Cannabis was blazing everything though. Like,
yeah, but it's that album.
I mean, that came out in 99.
No, the album came out in 98.
In my version, it came out in 99.
It's like November 98, I think, if memory serves. That's why
I didn't cop it to 99, so we're not talking about.
Unless you got a lady in West Virginia, but
you know what he's talking about? He's talking about. Matter of fact, the Cannabis that you're talking about is actually 97 Cannabis.
Right. Yeah.
Desperado, Beast from the East.
Nah, that's 98. Yes. Firm album came out in 98. Did it not?
No, it's 97. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Is it October 97 and all that?
Yeah.
Yep. Making a name for ourselves with Common, that's 97. Beast from the East, pretty certain that's 97.
97. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about 97 Cannabis. But people are gonna understand what you're talking about because he only had one good run and it didn't involve any of his fucking albums.
Well, it's some bleed over, you know what I'm saying? So it's all
really,
good.
Because he lost the battle 98 too.
What you say? It's breaking up, man. I think we losing reception, so we got to start.
Wow. It's definitely time to go.
Yeah.
Definitely time to go.
Yo, this was fun. This was fun, y'all.
Encourage everybody to put together your own 11 hip hop rappers out there, rappers in your draft. Create your own draft and challenge us. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it on Twitter, YouTube, and all of our outlets, so you all can see how we're looking. And we'll put a poll out there to see who have the best. Pause. But I would encourage all of you to actually put something out there as well, so you can challenge what we have. You can't pick what we still have, but you can challenge us, whatever picks you have on your side as well. Subscribe, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, let them know what we're doing over here. This was just a light work. We're still warming up. We're still making the album right now. We're still trying to master the album. So we're still working on some things. We got other great ideas coming in the pipeline really soon. Coop, any last words from you, brother?
I just want to say that these conversations that we've had the past week about Southern Playalistic, the infamous Illmatic, these are the albums that made all of us from our age demographic fall in love with hip hop. And there are albums that preceded that made people fall in love with hip hop, and albums that came after it that made people fall in love with hip hop. And so let's continue to hold hip hop up high and represent the culture the right way, because the culture has represented us the right way. These albums that we're talking about, they're reflective of our upbringings. They're reflective of our environments. And it's important that we carry them in a positive light, even though some of the content may be a little dark, like you were mentioning. That's part of our struggle here as Blacks in America. And we need to embrace the struggle in order to conquer the struggle. So shout out to OutKast for putting together the South's most important album in Southern Playalistic. Shout out to Nas for making the greatest rap album of all time, in my opinion, in Illmatic. Shout out to Mobb Deep for making the Infamous, which is literally the album that street East Coast hip hop is based upon, pretty much. Like, all these niggas' styles sound like Havoc's beats to me when they be trying to do that East Coast hip hop shit. He's the author of a sound. Prodigy is the voice of a sound. Nas is the GOAT. OutKast is the greatest duo of all time. It's wonderful and a blessing that we get to talk about these things, these people. Rest in peace, Prodigy, and salute to the culture.
No doubt. AG, what you got, sir?
That's it, man. Coop wrapped it up, and I think that's it, man. I don't have nothing to add, man. This is a hell of an episode. It was a lot of fun doing this episode with you gentlemen. The draft was dope. We got our top 10 Atlanta albums list, which I think is pretty solid. We'll post that on the socials as well. And yeah, man, stay tuned for the next time we on here.
No doubt. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Definitely follow us on the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. All of the audio will be on starting tomorrow. For this episode will be uploaded by tomorrow. So you can also listen to us on Apple and Spotify, Amazon Prime Music, if you have that resource as well. And make sure that you continue to send us messages on what you want to hear us talk about. We have a wide range of topics to go through. As you all can see, we have a lot of range in how we discuss things and how we have this discussion. So if there's anything you guys want to hear from us, let us know. We'll get into that bag and we'll come back and share love with you all as well. So again, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the team, Trife Boogie, Stacks, Andrew, Taj. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to my two brothers on here. And we out. Peace.
Team shit.
Team, yes, sir. Fellas.
I think